EPA, of course, they're actively monitoring the PFAs in Colorado, because they're going. That was what I was looking for. So it's plastic, and it's kind of crazy because
it's forever chemical, Mark. It's a forever chemical that was made from Teflon production. And what it is that it's something that's been going on since the 1970s. The EPA started recognizing it based on lawsuits in the 1990s. So it's something that...
Listen to this. Paper, cardboard, food packaging, in other words, take-home containers, popcorn bags, pizza boxes, ready-made cakes, non-stick cookware, textiles. This one's interesting. Waterproof outdoor clothing and equipment, carpets, mattresses. What's that stuff we used to spray?
Scotch Guard.
Scotch Guard. That must be literally PFAS in a can.
Well, the firefighters that have developed cancer is because of their suits coated with PFAS.
Coated with it. Cosmetics, meaning conditioners, foundation cream, sunscreen, electronics, virtually anything with plastics in it. It's everywhere, and the problem now is you want to get rid of it as best you can, and you can get rid of it in water, but we've talked about this, Paul. You eat a steak. The chances of that steak not having any PFAS is almost impossible. Everything in the world
is contaminated with PFAS.
Because they don't go away.
And microplastics, they go hand in hand.
Yeah. It's really ridiculous.
This is not an easy fix. Our water problem is a generational issue. It's going to take generations to fix it because the contamination is so widespread. And with PFAS and microplastics, Fox News on Mother's Day did a report that in your brain, there's enough plastic in your brain to make up a plastic fork.
I've always said that about Dimitri. Exactly that. I've always said there's enough plastic in his brain to make an entire spork.
That explains a few things.
Yes. No, it's crazy. So we're going to be talking about it, but people think water systems. When my wife thought of a water system, you know why she wanted it. It had nothing to do with any of the stuff we're talking about.
It's the hair, all about the hair.
We were in Louisiana, and we were at a hotel, nice hotel, and she took a shower and got out, and all I heard was, oh, my God, this is the best water for my hair ever. And she went down. I didn't know this, but she literally talked to the management and wanted to figure out why the water was so good. And they're like, we have a certain softener here, and we have them in a lot of our chains. It was the Waldorf. And we have them, and we put them in, and people love them. And I ended up calling you.
Yes, sir.
Not long after. So thanks for that, Hilton Properties. Thanks a lot for that. That's why she wanted it. We've had your system now, Paul, for, my God, 2 years, maybe even longer. I really thought the maintenance was going to be an issue. We're empty nesters. I put a bag of salt in. I buy the salt at Sam's Club, and the salt's like $5.
Yep.
It's 40 pounds, if I recall, maybe 50. And I just buy one. I bring it down there. I put it in there maybe every 4 to 6 months. And I probably could get away with less, quite frankly, because when I look down there, there's always salt in there.
Well, two people don't use a lot of water, and the system is based on usage.
And I've noticed it big time, too. I will say this. During the winter, I tend to get a little irritated in my skin, and the water does seem a little, God, I hate to use this word, but oily.
Slimy.
Slickery. Yeah, a little slimy.
Yeah, a little slimy.
But it seems to help the skin.
But you know what that is? That's your pores. That's your natural oils. What was causing dry skin was trapped soap.
Got it.
Oh.
So when I was at Tom's house, we did the washcloth test. We took, soft water, rinsed the washcloth, and you saw the trapped soap come out. That's what happens. And so now your pores are opened up.
So what happens to all that salt? Because I've noticed the water doesn't taste salty.
It's not salty.
I was afraid of that, too. It does zero to the flavor of our water, Dimitri.
Yeah.
It did absolutely nothing, and we're on a well. I mean, we've got good water as far as I know.
Where does the salt go
goes
before
down,
you refill?
It's a chemical exchange. Great question. So the salt is converted to a saline. The saline is the detergent. So then what happens is its hardness is calcium carbonate, and then you have sodium chloride. So then the sodium, right, and the carbonate stay in the water. That's baking soda. the calcium and chloride go down the drain. So the calcium feeds the bacteria in the leach field.
Literally, that's the drain coming out of it, going into our main drain.
That's it.
In the utility room.
That's right. So it's not. So you're not salt. Salt's not in the water, but when you separate it, because that's what resin does, it separates. Then you're basically, the byproduct is baking soda.
That's nuts. All right, listen, we got to take a break. I'm going to come back. Stefan, Lynn, and whoever's on 3, you guys are coming up, I promise. Right after this, 303 Martino. We're going to have one line open, 303-713-8255.
Not everyone who handles your personal information is as careful as you are, which might explain why there's a victim of identity theft every...
Salt. I always thought the water might be salty too.
No, it's not. They
Separates it through the resin.
That's right. Yeah, that's the ion exchange. You know, resin was developed in Germany in the 1880s.
John Fuller Law. John got us not only once, but twice policy limits on people that ran into us. One was Suzanne and myself, car totaled. Every airbag went off. We had injuries. The second was my daughter. She had some neck problems afterwards, but both times he got us policy limits. He was also there to answer any questions we had. We had his cell phone number, just like you will if you hire John. But there's nothing to lose if you've been hurt in the accident. You call up, free legal advice. He only gets paid when he collects. 303-597-4500. John Fuller, put it in your phone, 303-597-4500. There's a lot of companies out there that claim to be retirement planning, but Retirement Planning Center of the Rockies, they actually are. We're talking 40 years of helping people. We're not just talking about different products they want to sell you to make a commission. They're going to talk to you about Social Security, optimizing those benefits, Medicare, supplements, insurance, annuities, long-term care. And by the way, that's getting very important and very expensive. Estate planning. Maybe you want to pass on a business to one of your family members. They can help you retire. They can help you have that cash flow to live the life you want to live when you retire. Please check them out at rpcenter.com. That's rpcenter.com.
So how do you know when it's time to add salt?
You look in the bucket.
Look in the bucket. Just pull the lid off.
It's a bucket like round barrel, and it's about yay tall. And basically, you pop the lid, and you just see the salt. I would say, like ours, if I wanted to fill it all the way up, 10 bags, 8 bags, what?
Probably about 5.
5 bags. Okay.
Yeah. See, it's on usage. So what you do, right? So you program it, and then you may want to have it like an extra regeneration.
So the water that comes out of the faucet after this, does it have baking soda in it?
Yeah, that's the byproduct. But it's
so it has baking soda. I mean, I'm okay with that.
But the level of it is so small.
Sure.
Now, some people have really sensitive taste buds. Some people, taste it. Majority don't.
I couldn't notice it. Nothing.
Because I've had, I tell people, some people have that sensitive.
Sure, of course.
Yeah. The thing about the water softener is that the exchange rate is going to be based on your hardness.
Hey, what about, does that system also remove all the crap from well water? Like if somebody's cow pisses in the water or something?
Oh, I love cow piss.
Well, I mean, does it do anything?
That sounds like a
that?
weird kink.
Well, check this out. I've done some research, and I finally got to talk to a licensed wastewater treatment operator.
Oh.
So all the crap that they try to take out, they're injecting it back into the aquifers.
No.
Well, where else would it go?
That's right.
To the dump.
So no.
Don't they haul that?
No, he's talking the water itself.
Yeah. So the biosolids, the human waste, they're all loaded with PFAS and contaminants. They're giving it away to farmers for free.
So you have filters that will purify well water?
Does that one we have on special now do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's so gross.
I found this out. The EPA takes 13 years for them to take a contaminant and make it regulated. So all pharmaceuticals are unregulated. So if it's an unregulated contaminant, local municipalities won't protest for it.
Gross.
Wow.
And then, yeah,
So, Paul, is that resin thing, is that tube
yes, sir.
that I saw at Mark's house? I was
That's the
snooping in his furnace room.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. I got two things. Did you see that, like, torpedo thing next to the water
I
system?
did. I was just snooping. Wanted to go look at
What
it.
is it?
That's a neutralizer because you have low pH. So
Yeah, if you look at my pipes, the copper that is in there, you can actually see the green coming, and this stuff's supposed to stop that
outside?
corrosion.
Yeah,
So the green is on the outside of
Mhm.
the copper?
And then once you see a black oily spot,
Yeah.
then you're at that point where it's getting really.
Yeah, you did a nice job installing it.
So when he puts that stuff in it now, that stops the corrosion. So that piping should be good forever now.
You have a hot tub, don't you?
Uh-huh.
Check your pH at home because we're like just two people, but pretty soon we're gonna have
All right, 303-713-8255. Surprising amount of emails from us just having that water conversation. We're going to go back to that eventually. But Lynn, hey, what is going on? You've got a question about a handyman service or something along those lines?
Mark?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. We have a handle on a shower door that keeps coming off, and we cannot put it back on. And we can't remember who the company was that put it in, the shower door. And we've called other door places, to come out and...
Hey, what kind of handle is it? I'm trying to picture it.
It's a metal handle on a glass door.
So does it come off like it's sticky and it's not re-sticking?
No, it's screws on.
And the screw keeps coming loose?
Right, and the whole thing comes off.
And how many screws are there?
I don't know. I think there's only one.
I would just get a lock nut, and when you put the screw back in, when it comes off, does it come all the way out?
It does come all the way out, and it just hangs by, just hangs there.
Not a lock nut. What I meant was a lock washer. So basically,
Okay,
you can get.
I'm 83 and blind. I'm the one who's blind that had the telephone problem.
Oh, okay.
And my husband's 86. He can't see it at all. So
How long does it take to come off, and what area are you in?
We're over here in near the green. Where are we? Let's see. We're on Orchard and Holly.
Oh, you're not far from here.
Yeah, we're not
Orchard
far
and
from-
Holly.
Yeah, right where
is it?
where
Do you mind
the
doing
library is.
Hold on, we're gonna get it fixed for you. So you know what I'm saying, right? Just a little.
Yeah, I have a feeling
lock washer.
it's an easy one to solve. Nothing is broken, right? Did you just have
No,
to-
it's not broken.
Okay.
It's just, I wonder if we need a better handle.
No, you just
Or-
need that one to stick. Well, he'll eyeball it. It
Yeah.
doesn't
Do you
matter.
want me to stop by and take a look at it
Yeah,
and see
when-
if it's something that can be fixed?
Are you
that
guys
would be
generally
wonderful.
home?
Yeah, am I going to be home? Yeah, I can't.
Well,
I
he'll
can't go
call
anywhere.
you afterwards and make.
I'll make an
Dimitri will
appointment.
call you and figure it out. But you're not far from the station.
No, I'm on Orchard and Holly, right there near the library, where the library is on the corner.
Yeah. Don't listen.
Coble Library, right?
Yeah,
Is that
so-
I think it's Coble, yeah.
I'm going to put you on hold, Lynn, and Kelly's going to get your information, your phone number. Go ahead and grab her address too, Kelly, while she's offline. Get that to Dimitri. He's going to call you after the show and set something up. But I can't imagine why a little lock washer wouldn't just fix that. It's weird. It's only one screw. I'm having trouble trying to picture it, but
We'll get it figured out. You don't have any dangerous dogs or alligators or poisonous snakes or anything at all,
yeah.
do
Do you have any alligators in the house, Lynn, or Dobermans or what?
No,
Okay,
you
I
don't
don't
have
wanna get
to
bitten
be
by a
But
scorpion.
I want to.
Is your husband housebroken? He won't bite.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, he won't. No, but let me ask you. We have an animal that is digging in. The fellow that took care of the sprinkling system
Yeah.
showed us there's a hole near the foundation where the crawl space is.
Yeah, well, let me tell you, if Dimitri comes out, he'll make friends with it.
Okay. We don't know who to call to find out if it went in the crawl space.
Do this.
It's got a hole.
When you're out there, eyeball it, and if it's something that's going to cause him issues, I'll give her, I know you hate this, but a form of exterminator.
No. Animals should be trapped and relocated, but I'll take a look at the hole. And,
Yeah, we want to know if there's something building in the crawl space.
Probably one of those pesky squirrels.
Do you hear anything in the crawl space?
Sometimes I do, but
What do you hear coming from the crawl space?
I don't hear anything technically. My husband has hearing aids.
Maybe
We're a
scratch.
mess.
We're going to help you out.
I'll take a look at the hole. I'll see if I can recognize it.
Okay, thank you so much.
You got it. Hold on now. Let me put you on hold. Okay, we've got one line open, soon to be two. Make sure we get her information. 303-713-8255. You've been ripped off. Need some help? We also have a list of attorneys at referralist.com. Free legal advice, whatever you got cooking. Stefan, what is going on with you?
Oh, I was just calling to give an attaboy. A few weeks ago, my wife, we were talking, and she'd been wanting central air conditioning in our house for a while. And,
hey, what did you do prior? You just didn't have AC?
Yeah, we didn't have. I had the house built 25 years ago, and we were using those little what I like to call the R2D2 units per room that you put in. And
they're pretty well, some of them are expensive to run, the older ones. You know what's interesting, though? You must have had a furnace, of course, and then you had all the ductwork, so all you had to do was basically add the unit, right?
Yes, but the house, like I said, I had it built 25 years ago, and when they came out, I knew that we were going to have to get a new furnace. The system runs on the furnace, so we were going to have to get a furnace as well.
That's right.
I was listening to the Tom Martino show, and he mentioned Smith Plumbing.
Oh, Smith.
And Smith.
Oh my God.
Down in Colorado Springs.
Yeah. Mike Robinson is the nicest guy, man. You know, he played for the CFL. He also played, he played for the NFL one season too. I forget where, but he played for the CFL. He's also an accountant and a hell of a businessman. He has brought Smith Plumbing, Cooling, Heating, and Electric in Colorado Springs from like one man in a truck when he bought it up to 100 trucks and a bunch of great employees, some of the best pricing in Colorado Springs. He's really incredible. How much was the whole system? I'm curious.
I got the two-phase. Justin Spinelli is the guy that came out and gave me the estimate. He's
very
great.
Cool.
Just all of them are great.
Very cool.
But the whole system was just under $20,000.
Nice. And that's brand new, and you've got it. Sounds like a high efficiency too.
Yes, I did.
Did you guys do? Their financing is unbelievable as well.
Yes. Yeah.
They have something like, I'm not going to quote it. I just remember looking at bullet points for a recorded spot I was doing for them. But basically it was like 2 years, maybe 3 years, absolutely zero interest. So, I mean, that was a pretty good deal. But hey, man, I appreciate it. And I know Mike, the owner, would definitely appreciate you calling in there, brother.
Okay. And I appreciate them. I'm just so glad I happen to be listening because, there's so many people you can call.
There's a few shysters in Colorado Springs. Colorado Springs is kind of it's a funny area. I mean, Denver, there's plenty of good companies because it's bigger and a lot more companies come this direction, especially the size of Smith, just because of how massive he is. And that's why he grew it so quick out there. It's that customer service, that great pricing, all of that. In fact, I was going to give their website out since you just called in. It's kind of cool. It's like pink trucks. Dang it. What is their website? Hold on. I'm just going to have to find it. Smith Plumbing. I just can't explain what a great guy he is, too. He really super good guy. And they're the people with the pink trucks. His wife is actually on the side of all those vehicles. She's a great lady, too. And now I'm finding it right here. It is smithpinktrucks.com. smithpinktrucks.com. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back. We got lines open 303-713-8255.
Yeah, they have good reviews.
Okay,
Their trucks are pink. Wow.
They are pink. That's his wife.
You need sunglasses to look at those trucks. It's almost like not a hot pink, but a...
It is so nice seeing him on just all the time. Although I am very confused of when he sleeps.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he has these press conferences.
Elon, get the hell out of there.
Yeah, he's got to.
He needs to go back to building cars. Go away.
He's got to get
cars, robots, brain him. Gravinas, you know I love Gravinas. Let me tell you why. They just sold us a sliding door, and I love the entire way the sale went down. They come out, they do the measurements, they show us all the different options. They have these cutouts. Then it comes out, and they install it, and it went perfectly. And if you're looking for windows, unlike a lot of companies that try to push one or two brands on you, they have 20 different manufacturers with more than 50 lines. Of course, everything's energy efficient. So from fix and flips to $1 million homes, Gravinas.com. Gravinas.com. Actually, just great people. Please, if you're looking for siding, windows, and doors, you have to put them on the list. Now, Denver Regen. I weighed myself yesterday. I'm down over 35 pounds, 5 months. I've got about 2.5, 3 weeks left, and I am done. Someone gave me the biggest compliment. I stopped at my accountant's the other day, and the woman in the front, I've known her for years. Her name's Betty. She goes, man, your face is thin. You're losing weight. And I was like, yes, Betty, I am. Thank you. And I always admit it. I literally always admit I'm on the shots. Other people lie. Oh, I suddenly got into shape. I don't lie. Listen, less than $300 a month. First month, half price, so $150, no long-term contracts. It includes everything. Doctor's visits, medication, everything. DenverRegen.com. DenverRegen.com.
So this weekend's weather report is so confusing. One website says Saturday's going to be pretty cold and rainy.
Yeah.
Fox 31 this morning said it's going to be like in the mid-70s.
It's supposed to be a little cool this afternoon. Windy.
Hey, Kelly, they're saying no audio on YouTube. Did you turn on the connection?
I think we fixed. I think it got fixed.
What? Do you show it up on the board? Do you show it on the board, 5? Do you hear any audio? Can you tell if 5's working? Is that YouTube? Okay, I don't know what the deal is then. Someone just emailed.
Retardation is an ugly, ugly thing.
It is. I agree wholeheartedly. Brooke, when we get into solar panel efficiency, because I want to talk about that, what is the maximum right now? Do you know the answer to that?
Probably 23%.
That's it? That's crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty normal.
Is it?
Yeah.
And what's the breakdown? Like, in other words, why can't we get 80%?
I mean, the solar panels themselves operate at like 98% of whatever they're said to do. That's a manufacturer warranty for almost any solar panel. As far as why solar isn't more efficient for the panels themselves, that's going to be an engineering question that I'm not sure on.
Okay.
But the residential tax credit is probably going away this year. So anybody that wants to do solar on their house, they have to hit PTO before December 31st of this year, so they need to have a contract signed probably by July.
So it's got to be in service by the end of this year.
It's going to be in service by the end of this year.
Is there any grants left?
So I would make sure, oh yeah, the state of Colorado does, and commercial is not having any changes like that, but residential is.
So everything we have been doing, they're still doing.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yep. I would just make sure folks know that after July, they should write in the contract that if PTO isn't received by December 31st, that the installer has to pay them the tax credit, because otherwise they're out that 30%, which is a big deal. Right?
What is a PTO, Brooke?
Permission to operate.
Okay.
So that means that the utility company has officially accepted their project,
Okay.
and with Excel
That's
or
an important-
Black Hills, it takes a while to do.
Is this
Or
a-
United is quick, but those other two, I wouldn't do anything after July 1st.
So this is granted by the utility company, this PTO?
All right, 303-713-8255. You got any questions? You've been ripped off, or you just want to tell us about a bad guy? Maybe we can help you get some money back. In fact, we've gotten over $300 million in cash, merchandise, exchanges, and refunds. Two great guests today. Brooke White, I'm going to talk to you now on some solar stuff. You know, we heard that solar credits, since Trump's been in office, I don't know what's going on with grants, solar tax credits. So I need you to kind of tell everybody where we're at there. If you get a solar system now, let's say it's residential. Let's start with that, Brooke. Is there still the federal tax credit? Is there a Colorado tax credit?
Yeah, so the state of Colorado has never had a tax credit or tax benefits to do residential projects. They just do batteries right now. The federal tax credit is 30%, but it is right now up for debate as to whether or not that's going to end.
So that could end this year.
Yep, now.
Would it end at the end of the year, or could it end like in a week?
No, it would stop being in effect December 31st of 2025.
And I guess, I see, unless they renew it. And I would assume like you have to have the system running by that time. It's got to be online.
Yeah, the utility company has to accept the project. The tax credits right now for residential were set to expire in 2034. Trump in his first round had actually extended them, but the Congress has just passed a legislation to maybe end it this year.
Okay.
So it's just up for debate. So with that being said...
It's just up in the air.
Exactly. So with that being said... if you wanted to do solar on your house, I would make sure that you had that plan done before July 1st, because you do have to have the utility company accept it, and that's a long process.
So you got to get that order in if you want to make sure to get under.
Exactly,
What's your gut say? Is he going away? What do you think?
I have no idea. Yeah, who knows? As far as the commercial tax credits...
Well, hold on. Let's go back to the battery. Why does Colorado... I don't understand... I guess... You probably don't understand the logic either, but why isn't there a credit on the solar aspect of it, but there is on the battery? I don't get that.
What I really appreciate about the state of Colorado is they're not going to give taxpayer money and waste it. So instead of giving tax credits, what they do is they make the utility company give you retail value for the power you give them. So I think that makes a lot more sense and is a better plan.
And how does that work with the battery, though? Where does that battery tie into this?
So the reason the battery is getting additional benefits is because the state of Colorado wants to go 100% electric by 2040, 100% renewable by 2050. So in order to hit those goals, they need batteries. Exactly.
And what does a battery? Let's say a standard house, whatever that looks like these days. How big? Tell me, does it look like a coffin? I mean, like, how big is it?
Yeah, so it's like 2 checked bags for the airport is about the size of 1 battery.
Okay. That's pretty cool. And that would give me an example of what that would keep running. I mean, let's say you're off grid, you'd probably have a bigger battery, right?
You would have a lot more batteries.
Or a generator or something.
Yeah, exactly. If you're going off grid, you need to have at least 15 kilowatts.
But you guys do those systems left and right, don't you? Off grid?
Yeah, we do off grid systems.
Do you generally put batteries in these? Like, say someone's got a nice retreat in the mountains, a cabin, and, it's solar, and they have a battery backup, or is it generally a generator or what? Both?
I would say most of the time off-grid systems are going to have a solar system, a battery, and a generator.
All three
of them.
And you guys can do all that.
Exactly.
Do you use Generac?
We like Generac, absolutely. They're a great generator company. Yeah, it just depends on what the homeowner's goals are and what they're looking to do.
How about in a house, though? So Highlands Ranch, whatever, just a normal house. I get the size of the battery backup. They necessarily don't usually get a generator. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. But if they don't and they lose power, when those batteries kick on, so let's say they lose utility power, how long do those 2 suitcase-size batteries keep things going? I mean, in other words, let's say you turn the air conditioner off, but other than the air conditioner, I assume you can watch TV, your refrigerators are running, stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. You can keep it running. As long as daylight hits, 2 batteries should be able to sustain you for indefinite amount of time. So as long as it's not blackout conditions, every time the sun comes up. Exactly. Yep. And so then overnight, the batteries can definitely power the energy needs overnight until the sun comes back up the next day.
Do people have the utility company charging the batteries? So if it's like cloudy for a week, I mean, just like a big blizzard, something where the solar's not going to do anything, can you charge the batteries off the grid?
Yeah, you can have it that way. It just depends on how you set up the software for the battery. So the battery's really cool where you can plug and play and do a variety of different things with it.
Because I was thinking with an electric car, and I have one. In fact, we have 2 now. It would be pretty strange you lose power and, you got to charge your car. I assume that battery would just transfer right over to the car and charge it. I mean, I realize that's a lot of juice, but it could definitely charge it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It just depends on the battery capacity and if you can just plug the car in directly into that or if it would have to go through the main panel.
Yeah, okay. But you guys take care of all that. Yeah. How about, let's get right to it. Price-wise, you guys on a standard system, my understanding from you is you're going to beat pretty much anybody out there.
I would say we're definitely middle of the road. We're definitely not on the high end, and by no means are we going to be the cheapest. Okay. I think the difference on us is that whatever we agree to is what we agree to regardless of what might come up on the project, and that we come out and we fix whatever. So
you're not going to hit with a $10,000 change order. You're going to get it done for that original bid.
Exactly.
And then if it's supposed to be done at the end of August, and that's kind of a guarantee, and if it's not done at the end of August, you're going to pay the utility bills.
Exactly. Yep.
How often does that actually happen?
It's pretty rare that we have to take over those aspects. Most of the time what happens is I build up relationships with clients, so we just pay for their electric bill until their system comes up and running anyways.
Yeah, okay.
So before the 6-month time period, because I'm more about making sure folks are happy. And that's another thing that working with us, we just had a client that we redid some electrical work for his garage. He asked for, hey, I forgot to add this, that, and the other. We're already doing the work. I was like, yep, that's not a big deal. That's half a day of labor, maybe a couple $100 in materials. We'll just do it for you.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. So we try really hard to avoid change orders because I'm more of the mindset of like taking care of your neighbor kind of mentality.
A lot of these companies in the solar industry, the big complaints we've gotten over the years is this. I bought it. I got a problem with it. I called the people that sold it to me, and they're pointing to this other company that did the installation. So the sales arm and the installation arm are like entirely 2 different corporations altogether, and they're doing the old pointing at each other, which is kind of insane. You guys are all in-house.
Yeah, absolutely. And oftentimes we take over projects that previous installers have done. Like you said, the industry is kind of a mess, especially with...
I wonder why it started. I wonder how it got that way. I mean, like, really, why did all these companies pop up where all they do is get a contract signed? They literally knock on your door, or they sell it to you through Costco or wherever. I mean, I'm just saying anywhere. And basically, they get the signed contract. Then when they turn that signed contract in, they get paid whatever their sales commission is. And then they're pretty much done on to the next sale. I mean, if there's any issue going forward, you really have nothing to do with that person. That is the one that sold it to you. Why do you think the industry ended up that way?
So the sales folks actually don't get paid until the system's installed. Everything in solar works when the system gets installed, but installation doesn't mean that it's up and running, right? There's a big difference between getting something on your roof and getting the utility company to accept it and power on. So that's always where that disconnect occurs.
Where does that salesperson generally get paid?
Right when it's installed.
So not necessarily up producing power, but when it's on the roof or on the field or wherever.
And that delay is the big issue.
All right, listen, we're going to take a break. I got open lines, 303-713-8255. On top of that, when we come back, we're going to be talking about what she does commercially. And we have listeners, and lots of them, that have had 120% of their solar system paid for through grant money. It's a free solar system, and they're charging people that live in their properties electricity, just like utilities, so they're making money off of it. Everybody hold tight. Traffic. Okay, who do I got? Fix it.
You had asked me a question, and I apologize. Something about permission to operate.
Well, you answered it.
Oh,
no, I didn't know what it was. I thought it might have been a tractor, like a power takeoff. That's what a PTO is for me.
Yeah.
Hook up something to a tractor.
Fix it 24/7, fixmyhome.com. They got a deal right now. If you have not checked your sump pump, and make sure you do once these rains start coming, man, if that thing's not working right, that is trouble waiting to happen, especially if that basement is finished. These guys will come out, they'll tear it apart, they'll clean it, inspect it, make sure it works, put it all back together, all for $49. And if you haven't had it checked out or cleaned in, over a couple of years, you're nuts. That can cause huge damage. Ready? Fixmyhome.com, $49 sump pump special. Fixmyhome.com. Okay. Got to get my parents to the airport. Or my dad, just my dad. My mom's going home Saturday.
Oh,
How long were they in town for?
A week for my daughter's graduation up in Laramie.
Oh, cool. Congrats.
Yup. 23 years old. She is now officially, I learned this, so she's officially, God dang it, I get them confused now. I want to say she's officially a attorney.
Do you have to take the bar first, though, pass the bar to say you're an attorney, Mark?
No, when you graduate law school,
I did not know this.
are you an attorney before the bar exam?
I think you're an attorney, but you can't practice.
No, you're not considered an attorney in the legal sense of graduating from law school before and tasting the bar. You are considered a lawyer, so I got it reversed. So she's a lawyer, but she's not an attorney until she passes the bar.
What's the difference between a lawyer and an attorney?
I just told you.
Well, it has to do with passing the bar.
Yeah, when you pass the bar, you become an attorney.
I know
you
what you
are
said.
Considered a lawyer.
I've used the term interchangeably.
Well, in most cases, they would be interchangeable because, you're only talking a 3-month window where that person's not both.
Right.
It's just after law school and before the bar. It's 3 months.
Oh.
So really, that's why you can interchange it. It's not Esquire. Yeah, she's an Esquire, too. All weekend I was calling her Esquire.
What field of law is she going to specialize in?
Personal injury. She's working for Capitalist.
Big money.
So would she be considered what's the next thing above a paralegal, like an investigator, an attorney investigator?
Yeah, what?
I thought there was a title for attorneys that haven't passed the bar, but they do all the casework and the research.
Paralegal.
Paralegal.
Is that a paralegal?
No, a paralegal's like...
it's an associate degree.
It's kind of like a nurse.
Paralegal's like, yeah. Okay. Totally different deal. There was only, her whole class was like 60 people.
Mark, why did you go to Wyoming instead of like CU or DU?
3 times the cost. And her politics do not align.
Well, you had to pay out-of-state tuition in Wyoming.
It's not. It still doesn't matter. It's not even close, bro.
Really? It's cheaper than DC?
Oh, my God.
Really?
Less than hers is. She's all in on her law degree for under 100.
No shit.
Yeah, DU would have been around 250 in-state.
Yeah, my wife went to DU, and it was tough.
Plus, really, the politic part was a big part of it. It's a whole different environment.
Interesting. I can't believe it. Wyoming would be cheaper for out of state.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Marcus got to be really cheap for in-state.
In-state is super cheap.
For Wyoming.
Her boyfriend, who she's up in living with, graduated from there the year before, and he works for, actually, it's funny, he works the other side. Insurance companies hire him.
Oh,
which is great. I mean, they both know both.
So good pillow talk at night.
Yeah. And then the interesting part, he was in state, and I think his student loans are like $30,000.
That's amazing, Mark. Now I can see.
And she also had a couple scholarships included in that 100.
Oh,
they weren't big ones. She worked for Dutch Bros Coffee. They gave her like 15 grand, which was insane.
Really?
She was a part-time employee. One of the nicest companies. She loved working there. The culture is unbelievable. Dutch Brothers.
Dutch Brothers.
And then
my kids like going.
I think the Spence Law Firm or somebody in Wyoming gave her another one. All right, 303-713-8255. 303 Martino. We're going to have 3 hours to go. Michael's got a question for Red Rocks Roof and Solar. Michael, what is your question?
Hey, Mark, how are you?
I'm great, Michael. How are you?
Good. So my wife and I, we bought a house 12 years ago in Saddle Rock, on Saddle Rock Golf Course.
Yeah.
And we put in a solar system, and we leased it. And it's gone through a few companies. I think now Tesla owns the paper.
Wow.
And the question is, we're getting ready to sell it. The political climate here has become too undigestible. So we're moving to Utah and selling the house. So the question is,
how do you sell it with a lease
when
system?
we sell the house, the solar still has the lease.
Yeah.
Do we sell the lease?
I would say
the house or separately.
Well, a couple things, and I'll let Brooke talk. But one, we can get Brad O'Brien on to look at the actual agreement for you. He's a real estate attorney, but I would say there's generally a buyout, right, Brooke? I mean, in the lease, like after X amount, and you could accelerate that, then own the system. I mean, every lease is a little different, but generally speaking, do you know the answer to that, Michael? Is there a buyout price on it?
I don't know. And the problem is that
I've never heard of one without a buyout price.
Okay, well, then there probably is one.
So then you would buy it out, or the new buyer would agree, just like they do with an HOA. They would agree that they're going to take over, but the solar company, Tesla in this case, might actually have to agree to have them on the hook instead of you guys. But Brooke, go ahead.
Yeah, that's correct, Mark. So you can buy out the system, and then you sell the house, and the system's tied to that. Or you have the new homeowners try to take over the lease. Now, the difference is that eventually that lease is going to be up, so 20 years or whatever that might be. If that residential tax credit goes away, and then the new homeowners no longer get 30% if they buy the system. And if they don't want to buy the system, then whoever owns the system, right, whoever they're leasing from, will actually come out and repo the system, which will leave the roof in disarray. So in my opinion, I would buy the system, and then you get the 30% tax credit, Michael, and that will make the house sale better, and it won't leave any question marks for a potential buyer.
Especially if you can use that tax credit this year. I mean, give me an idea. I mean, I actually know the neighborhood he's talking about, so I would assume that solar system's maybe, I don't know, 40, 50 grand.
Well, how long has it been in service? A while?
It has. It's been 12 years.
Does it work well? I'm curious on this. Here's a 12-year-old system. I mean, does it generate most of your bill or 50% of it? Or, I mean, give us a real take on how you like the solar system. Does it at least offset the lease payment and then also pay for a little power?
You know, it does. Absolutely. We would do it again.
Got it.
But we didn't think we were going to sell. But I was thinking about that, and I'm like, well, who's going to buy a leased solar system?
Yeah.
And who would write a contract for that?
Yeah, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put you, Michael, on hold. You don't need to stay, though. Just keep listening because we got a break coming up. But if you have any questions, I mean, you can leave Kelly your number and Brooke can reach you later on. But I wanted to bring this up, Brooke. If something like that broke and let's say they owned it, it wasn't leased, and he said that thing's been turned over to 2 or 3 companies, possibly now it's Tesla, you guys can fix any solar system, right? I mean, if someone's got a broken panel or something, let's pretend this guy owned it and the company he dealt with is out of business. You guys can fix that. And you've always told me, if the panel's still under warranty, long as you can get the warranty fulfilled by the manufacturer of the panel, you'll just charge the labor.
Exactly. Yep, 100%.
That's incredible. I love that deal. And then, Michael, just so you know, the other thing is, Kelly, try to get Brad O'Brien on. I want to ask him if he's done any contracts on homes that have a solar kit on them or a solar system on them, because I'm kind of curious how that goes. The other thing we're going to dive into, I've already had 2 questions by text for Water Pros. Of course, the first one, Paul, is how much do your systems start at? Everybody does go right for the pricing on stuff. So I guess that all depends. A point of use, like if you only want to protect the kitchen sink, for example.
Yeah, drinking water reverse osmosis starts at $1,100 installed.
And that's anything that comes out of that one tap, and then probably the refrigerator feed too?
Correct.
Okay, and then so your ice would be covered, but that's the only place you're going to drink water with that protection.
Absolutely, that's it.
And then how about a whole house system? Let's say you want, what's the Mac Daddy these days? Like the one I bought from you was a softener, and it was about $3,500. I want you to tell afterwards. I want to hear the true price. And I already have an idea if you're still doing the special, but this thing will get rid of the chlorine. It'll get rid of the PFAS.
Correct.
It'll soften the water, which also gets rid of that Rocky Ford
radium.
It gets rid of the radium. It's the all-in-wonder.
All-in-one.
And wait till you hear the price of that. Look, we got lines open. I'd love to hear from you, 303 Martino. What's up, babe? Yeah. Numero uno.
You know, when I first moved to Colorado, there was an extended stay down the street.
Yeah.
And there was a par 3 executive golf course.
Out here?
Out here.
When did you move to Denver, Paul?
In the early 90s. And I was thinking, I thought life was great. I was a bachelor living in that extended stay right next to the golf course. I was thinking, man, I didn't have to do anything. You know, why get a house? I mean, I got everything I need right there. Golf course, place to live.
Par 3. What happened to the par 3s?
Well, now it's
apartments.
office buildings now, I guess. Yeah.
I remember a little par 3 around here.
Yeah, straight down the street. Yeah.
Yeah, it was here for quite a while.
Yeah, there's an extended stay place. I stayed there, and yeah.
Yeah, that's funny you said that. I golfed it a few times over the years, but that had to be back before like 05.
Yeah, this was in the early 90s. I remember I was golfing.
Yeah.
Back then, when you had thunderstorm, you could set your watch at 3 o'clock. Some out there there was a walkway path.
Or some years a hailstorm, yeah.
Right. And so it was lightning, and I remember running for that underpass to hide to wait out the rain, and I saw lightning hit the tree as I'm, dragging my bag.
Huh.
Yeah.
You still play golf?
No, I haven't played in ages.
Yeah. Takes too much time. For me, when I was working, I hated it. I had to play for customers.
I don't know if it's changed, but the last time I played, they'd pack the golf course, then they'd have these, what do they call them, range people?
The Rangers. Right. My uncle was a Ranger over
They want to
over.
sell you beer, right? But they want you to hurry up, drink beer, and golf.
Yeah. That's the half fun of golf.
Yeah.
I feel like Top Golf is like the new corporate.
I love Top Golf.
Because then you can
You're not
drink, it's like
mingle.
And then you got some guys behind you yelling, "Come on, hurry up, hurry up!"
I love Top Golf. It is so much fun.
Yeah,
you're right. I think if you don't,
and anybody can do it.
Exactly.
It's not like playing golf.
Yeah, because I'm pretty garbage at golf.
I am too.
I can have fun at Top Golf.
It's just a driving range. You don't have to worry about your putting game.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, depending on what game you play, you can do. Definitely, you don't worry about your putter, but I like using the wedge a lot at Top Golf.
Yeah.
I don't just drive for the distance.
They have that game, do they still have it where they have distance, it's like a dartboard, you got to hit so many spots?
Yep. You got to go like blue, then red, then green, or whatever they go.
Oh, that sounds like fun, kind of like shooting. Huh?
Yeah, that's fun.
Oh, it's a total blast. Oh. Hey, babe.
Does anybody want anything from the drinks room?
Do they have a soda machine?
Yeah. There's Diet Coke, don't it?
Coke.
Yeah, I'd love a Diet Coke.
In an aluminum can lined with plastic.
Yeah.
Aluminum can.
All right. PFAs they're already in my body.
Well, why don't we go 3, 3,
I'm good,
and
thank
2?
you.
So go 3, 3, and 2 on the 3 days I'm not doing Gravinas. Yeah, I don't know why she wouldn't. Bye.
So, Mark, I have a question.
Yes, sir. Question away.
All right. Do you guys really keep tallies of the money we recover? Do you guys, or do you kind of give up and just say it's flat $350 million?
Tom came up with some formula.
The reason I ask is
I forget what the formula is, nor do I know. But no, we don't keep exact tabs on it by any means.
Okay.
We got a good rolling idea in our head, especially on big ones.
Because I saved that old couple $6,900.
That's
over
big.
the weekend. I'm fixing her furnace on a Saturday.
I want to talk about that. That's a great update. What's her name?
We actually already talked about it yesterday. Her name, it was...
Did we get her on?
Yeah, he came on, but it was a little short about it. But I didn't get to say how much we saved him.
Cool. I remember I got this dude back money on a tiny house. I got him a refund on it.
On a whole house?
Yeah, well, a tiny house. It was like $100,000. So they went to deliver it, and they decided they didn't want to deliver it on this road he was on. So they literally left a tiny house on the trailer. We're talking a big ass thing.
Yeah.
And then just drove off and left it there. And he had no way of getting it.
Who the hell does that?
Well, whoever the tiny house company was. But they ended up...
The tiny house company.
They ended up going out of business like a year after that anyhow. But we got him a full refund on the house.
That's
what happened to the house?
He wouldn't, I don't know, because he wouldn't come on air because he signed a
NDA.
full-blown disclosure, which really irritated me. I was like, dude... you should have came on the air or called me up, told me what happened, then signed the non-disclosure.
Yeah, that would have been great radio.
Well, I always say, hey, these guys definitely got they got all their money back, but he signed a disclosure and he won't talk about it. So really, when a company asks them to do that, it really doesn't help. Because, I mean, they can't make me sign a disclosure.
Right. They could tell you. It's like the guy could tell me about the issue, but he signed an NDA, but I couldn't talk about it because I don't have an NDA with him. That was that grease monkey issue a few months ago. I don't know why they sign those things. They should talk about it because of making it right with the customer.
Oh, I see. It's because it's a 5-week month with Gravinus. Radio calendar is so weird. Were we able to get Brad O'Brien, Kelly? Brad O'Brien, if you can get him, Kelly. So 4 weeks out of the year are 5-week months.
Really?
So when you're selling airtime, there's 4 weeks it costs, a fifth higher than the other months because they're only 4. There was one time years ago.
With bad news, you need advice when you don't have to lose. Come running just as fast as you can. Troubleshooter's gonna help you come and make.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Welcome, my friends, to the only show of its kind. We're here to solve problems, answer your questions, take complaints if you've been ripped off or need some help. This, my friends, is a show for you. Over $300 million in cash, merchandise, exchanges, refunds, services. I think you get the point. You got a bad contractor. Maybe you got a bad landlord. Maybe you got a question. Maybe you want some advice before you find yourself in a spot where you lost money. But we aggressively go after the bad guys. If there's a contractor in your life that has taken money or not finished the job, we want to hear from you. Please spread the word to your friends, your family, everybody out there. The phone number right now, open lines 303-713-8255, 303 Martino. You can also reach us at you can also reach us at help@troubleshooter.com. That's HELP at troubleshooter.com. If we're not live on the show, in either case, we'll reach back out to you. We'll get you lined up for the show. We'll help you out. That's our goal in life. 303 Martino. Now, I want to go back to Paul the Waterman. You got a system. This system does what? Go ahead. We already talked about it. Paul the Waterman, I bought my water system from him. He's been with the show on the referral list for years and years. But the bottom line is, best for less. That's the way he puts it. You're going to get a system for up to, I'd even say, 2/3 lower in some cases. I mean, like, really, Paul, it's crazy.
So right now, I know
there's a lot of shenanigans in the water business.
That's what I was going to say. There is. Seems like some companies want to par water softeners like a price of a furnace air conditioner replacement.
Yeah, they want. Seriously, I'm not going to say the name of it because I've got some other people on the referral list that sell some of the systems. But we had a big argument one time about this particular brand that I don't even know how it works. It doesn't literally soften the water, but they call it a water softener. And because it was in a heating system, like a floor heating system, it ended up corroding and it just caused a lot of damage over a long period of time. And the system itself was, I want to say it was $15,000.
That's right. Yeah,
$15,000.
Absolutely correct. So we have what's called the Echo Pro Max. It's a multimedia, uses KDF 55 activated carbon in the top chamber, water softening resin in the bottom. That's going to remove the total chlorine content, the forever chemicals, the PFAS, give you soft water. The KDF 55 is bacteria resistant, smart computer system.
So you get rid of the PFAS.
Right, get rid of the total chlorine content, have soft water. So that basically improves.
Well, and that stuff we were talking about in Rocky Ford.
That's right, radium.
And the reason it gets rid of that is a water softener aspect.
Resin, that's right. The resin removes radium and beryllium.
How big is that system compared to like what you guys installed in my house? Is
same
it
size.
Huge? Same thing.
Same size.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, same size. So right now, for everybody that listens to this show, we'll do it for $36.95 installed.
That's unbelievable. Wow. $36.95.
$36.95 installed. And I know our competitors are twice to 3 times that amount just for a base water softener.
Yeah, for not even getting rid of the PFOBs. And that gets rid of it in every single room.
Every single room.
That's not a point of use.
No, it's a whole house.
Complete whole house.
Yeah, and the manufacturer right now is offering a limited lifetime warranty with this product. So the filter media, have a 10 to 12 year lifespan, so you're not having reoccurring revenue replacing any of the filtration media. It's just, using the water softening salt, which is the detergent.
What got you into this, man? When I hear you, and people can't understand this unless you know Paul off air, he'll call me up literally when an article comes out about a certain reservoir somewhere that they found this or that in it. It's really nuts. When I say he lives and breathes what he does, I'm not kidding. Now, granted, he's probably not very fun at a party.
Yeah.
You heard him just describe that system. It sounded more like a Ferrari or something. It's got, 800 horsepower and a 2 fiber carbon something. But he lives and breathes it. What the hell got you into it? Like, did you know someone that got sick from water or what?
So back in the day, in the early 90s, I got out of college. I was selling point of sale software. The computers, the 386, the
like
46.
QuickBooks, whatever.
Right, okay. And it was like nobody wanted to learn, and it was a drag. So I went to a gentleman that was selling water softeners. I gave him my spiel, and he said, "Okay."
He gave you a shot.
That's right. And I fell in love with it. And then after doing research and studying the water quality, you learn so much. The thing that scares me, to be very candid with you, is I truly don't believe that right now our water is safe for human consumption because of all the contaminants.
What was that city where there was lead all over the place, and they kind of...
in Michigan.
Yeah, Flint, Michigan.
Yeah.
And the feds covered it up. The local government covered it up. In fact, my understanding is till this day, it's still messed up.
I'll tell you what, they're covering up pharmaceuticals right now because it's an unregistered contaminant.
What does that mean, unregistered? Oh, because it's in our urine, it's in our... I read that. I heard if you went and tested in certain bodies of water, certain water systems, you would find opiates, you would find cocaine.
Absolutely.
Literally, all this stuff passes right into the water.
So the EPA, if it's an unregistered contaminant, then local municipalities don't have to test for it. It's not monitored. But the EPA does. For example, 1,4-dioxin is a carcinogen that has been in the water supply since the 1890s, and yet it's still unregulated contaminant because it's in our soaps and shampoos.
How about stuff like in the mines we have in Colorado? I go up and play poker occasionally, and there's all these old mines. I don't know what they mined. I'm sure some are gold, but they mined a lot more than that. I heard one of them had a big leak a while back.
That's right. It
contaminated all the water around it.
That's right. And you can. There's uranium that's huge problem. We have natural fluoride that's an issue in Colorado, especially in the foothills. So those are contaminants that are regulated. Those are contaminants that have EPA standards. But, PFAS, for example, Mark, was a contamination that was happening.
They didn't even know about it, though.
They did. They knew about it, but they covered it up. DuPont and 3M covered it up, and then the EPA knew about it in the 90s because there were lawsuits, but we didn't know about it because they kept it under wraps.
Wow.
There's whole communities in North Carolina that, the DuPont and 3M have to provide residents free reverse osmosis units, because the water is still contaminated to this day.
So what's the worst in Colorado that you know of?
It's the PFAS and the...
No, I mean the worst municipality or the worst whatever, aquifer, or I don't know, the worst.
So I think, all right, Castle Rock scares me because they're at 35% reusable water. I don't think they've done the science to realize...
Well, what does that mean? So everything, 35... Wait a minute. So... 35, tell me if I say this right, 35% of what you drink in Castle Rock from your house or business, from a tap, is the same thing we flush down the toilet.
Correct.
After it's been treated.
Well, it's the only thing they do to treat it is remove the biosolids, which is the solid waste.
Yeah.
Then they inject it with a whole bunch of cancer-causing disinfectant agents and give it right back to us.
Well, so they basically bleach it up, if you will.
That's it.
And then, is that where a lot of the chlorine comes from, is because you're treating it?
They use a chloramine, so they mixed ammonia with it, because chlorine by itself would dissipate. So when you add the ammonia to it, it stays. It doesn't go away. It builds up in the hot water heater.
So they get rid of the solids. I can picture that. Just like like at my house, we're on a septic system.
Same setup. The exact same thing.
So they get rid of it, then the other one's kind of, everything else kind of floats to the leach field. What do they do with that stuff?
So it'd be the exact same setup in your house, right? It's the leach field water that would go back into the public, heavily bleached.
So that's okay. And then a lot of that, though, with the PFAS, because there's going to be PFAS, they don't treat for PFAS.
They can't treat for PFAS. That's why the EPA right now extended the deadline. Because the water treatment.
But wait. Here's what I'm getting to. So when that goes into what we're calling the leach field, or in Castle Rock, back into the drinking water system, that it doesn't get rid of those,
right?
And then I assume some of that probably seeps back down into the ground,
correct?
And eventually gets used yet again.
That's right. That's what I'm saying is they haven't done the science to see what the contamination levels increase on pharmaceuticals. If pharmaceuticals aren't tested, how do you know then what the byproduct is when you go to reusable water?
That's crazy. Hold on. We got to take a break. And once again, you want to get that system. Paul's the man. I bought mine from him, and there was no trade out. We paid him whatever the special was. And we've loved the system. Now he's got one that does virtually everything. And it's $3,600 all in. And you can go to waterpros.net. That's waterpros.net. Now, we've got a question on solar. We've got Art. Art, you're going to be up next. And then I do have Brad O'Brien on, which is going to talk about some of the solar questions our last caller had. 303-713-8255. You've been ripped off or taken advantage of. Give me something to sink my teeth in. There must be a bad mechanic out there somewhere. Fix it.
Fix it coming up.
Yes.
I can't believe we're going to be into Labor Day weekend already.
We talk to Joe Chiano all the time. I love Joe, and I want to tell you something, Joe. I want to know how someone could go from zero to hero on your government plan. Did I hit the wrong line, guys? Joe?
Here.
Hey, man, sorry I hit the wrong line.
Oh, no, that's okay. But that's kind of weird, really, that zero could become a hero.
Yeah.
In your retirement accounts, because right now the stock market, as you probably know, is totally crazy.
It's nuts.
Right? So people are experiencing losses, and people are tired of losing money. People want to make money. They don't want to lose money. So our product, the retirement account that we have, the people can transfer their investment accounts, their 401ks, their IRAs into this account.
Yeah, any qualified account.
Right. This account will prevent people from having any losses. Think about that.
Well,
again.
guaranteed.
It will prevent people. It will prevent people from having any losses. So the worst thing that could happen with our account would be that they get a zero return 1 year, but they don't lose what they put in. They wouldn't lose the bonuses that we give. They
Joe,
wouldn't lose their gain.
Joe, I want to personalize you a little bit. For people out there, Joe Chiano has been doing this a long time. When you sit down and talk to Joe, he really is looking out for you. I mean, the guy's a fiduciary. He's only going to put you in a product that makes sense for you, whether you're close to retirement or whether you have 40, 50 years before you think of retirement. And he's just the guy to talk to. If you've ever thought about getting that guaranteed paycheck for life, I want you to really think about it, and I want you to reach out to Joe. He's a friend of mine. He's a good guy. He would never steer you wrong, period. Something he puts you into, you're going to be very happy with. Please check him out. Have the conversation with him. MyMoneyMyWay.com. That's MyMoneyMyWay.com. Thanks, Joe. Why? Is it next? Am I supposed to be doing it? Nope, I see it. Yep, tell me when. Yep, I got it. I did. I got to cut it up tonight.
Cut it up.
And that's from, that's not, there's nothing inserted in it, right? Okay. Quality remodels at a discount price. You know what I'm talking about, discountbath.com. I love Chris and the gang. You know, they come out and they can do everything from a tub to shower conversion to a complete bathroom remodel. When they were out at our house, some of the ideas they had, we would have never thought of. They think outside the box if you want a complete remodel. We were talking about literally getting rid of where the shower is now because the back wall was in the closet, making the closet much bigger, like a California-style closet, and then turning the old tub, which was huge, into a walk-in steam shower. They can do it all, and they do it at a discount price. That's why I love these guys. They can even give you a bid right over the phone. Go to their website, discountbath.com. That's discountbath.com. Why refi?
Mark?
Yes, sir.
Can you release Savvy from whatever you guys do at the timeout?
What do you mean?
I've got several texts, and everyone says Savvy.
Text Suzanne to take Savvy out of there.
Did you punish her or something?
No, I'd never do that. I just met her. She's great.
You never do that?
No,
you put my sister in timeout all the time.
Yeah, but she's not saying timeout. She's saying I put her in purgatory.
Oh.
All right, 303-713-8255. Any questions you have on solar, of course, water systems, what's going on in different communities, please feel free to call in. Also, anything ripped off, taken advantage of, bad mechanic, bad contractor, bad dentist, you get the idea. 303 Martino, you can get through right now. Art, I'll come to you right after this expert. Hey, Brad O'Brien, how are you doing today, sir?
Hi, Mark, how are you?
I'm doing great, man. Hey, have you seen, and if so, what did you learn and how to get around it the best way when someone sells a house that has a solar system on it that is connected to a lease on the system? Have you dealt with anything like this?
Sure. Normally that would be assigned by the seller and assumed by the buyer. And they would, at closing, there would be like a one-page document to take care of that. The solar company might even have the form for the parties to use.
So the solar company, generally like a mortgage company, generally isn't going to step in and go, hey, we're not going to allow this other person to take it over because, you know, their credit score is not as high as yours. In other words, it should be pretty straightforward.
I don't think there normally is a credit check or income qualification on a buyer assuming
it's just assumable.
The rental payments.
So the original agreement is basically assumable. It's more of on the property than it is with the purchaser or the buyer.
Normally it would be, but of course you have to look at the actual rental agreement,
yeah,
see what the provisions are for assignment assumption, and make sure you follow those. For instance, there's probably a notice provision. You have to give notice that the house has been sold.
You know what's interesting, Brad? You made me think of something. I don't know if you've seen these, but Brooke White, she owns Red Rocks Roof and Solar, sitting next to me, a guest in like you are all the time, and she's got to deal with government grants. We've had people that have actually owned duplexes and quadplexes or, you know, commercial property, and they rent it out. They go in there, they put a solar system in. Remember, it's got to be commercial in this case. And with the grant money, have gotten 120% of it paid for. So it's basically free. But then they charge their tenants, right, Brooke? I mean, the landlord at that point will charge their tenants for the power they use, just like electric company. So they actually make money on that. They got the solar system paid for, and then they charge the tenants for the electricity, right?
Yeah, depending on where you're at, you can either charge them directly for it, or you can just increase overall rent to have that benefit.
So Brad, the reason I said that to you is, how would you, if you were a landlord and all of a sudden now you're the utility, you would probably have to go back in and redo the lease, or probably not, just because, I guess if they went from Excel to somebody else, you wouldn't have to change anything in the lease.
I'm not aware that the utilities are acting as lessors. I think it's third parties who are doing that.
Go ahead.
Typically, the buyers take over the payments.
Hey, Brad, of these assumable leases that you've worked on, did you find that the original, I guess, signer to the lease, the obligor who's now selling the house, does this person remain on the hook in case the new owner defaults on
Sounds
his
like
lease?
a timeshare.
Well, you have to go to the actual language of the lease agreement to see if the lease is assignable, and if in that case the seller gets personally released from the liability. You'd expect that to happen, but you have to look at the actual agreement. Now, even if the agreement doesn't have that, you could still have the renting company sign a consent that the seller is released.
Hey, Brad, have you dealt with any cases with solar where someone wants solar, but like an HOA or someone doesn't want to allow them to have it?
I've seen pushback. Of course, Kiowa, the HOA statute provides that HOAs cannot prohibit solar arrays, but they have some discretion to for cosmetic purposes.
They don't want them big, bad, and nasty.
Yeah, to make it maybe not visible from the street, but it's really hard for them to even do that.
Hey, Brad, I really do appreciate it, man. Everybody out there, Brad O'Brien, you can find him on a referral list at referrallist.com. His website is olslaw.com, olslaw.com. And I don't care if you're a landlord. I don't care if you're looking to rent your first commercial piece of property. You're dealing with a property line dispute. You got a neighbor whose trees are growing over. Anything you can imagine, commercial or residential, when it comes to real estate, he is our expert. And that is olslaw.com. I appreciate that. Art, what is going on with you, Art?
Good morning. I've listened to your show for decades.
Well, thank you, Art.
And I appreciate the advice. I have a question that's very specific, but I want to do what is customary. As a small businessman, I've had plenty of experience with insurance claims through common carriers. I'm auctioning off an extremely valuable watch in the six figures.
Well, what makes it valuable?
They've been around for about 100 years. It's a work of art to look at it. One of their trademarks, most people have never heard of the brand.
What is the brand, Art? I'm dying.
Audemars Piguet, the same family that's made handmade Swiss watches. They make the watch so you can see through it, both sides.
What? I'm sorry, you're going to have to either spell that or say it again. What is it called?
Certainly. Audemars, Audemars.
Got it.
The S is silent.
Got
Audemars Piguet.
Got it. I found it. Wow. Piguet. Man.
And they've maintained the music. It's been in my family for 70 years.
How interesting is that?
You'd love to look at it, but whether it's little kids or grown adults, some people will just stare at it.
Art, what model is it?
Yeah, what model do you have?
It's a rectangular see-through movement, and it's in gold.
Right, but does the model have a name?
God,
it's probably so old. It's not like they were all probably handmade, right?
Positively, and you waited for months. It's like ordering a boat or something.
Who ordered it? Your father, or who was it?
My father bought it at the store in Switzerland, who said the original buyer, who waited months, canceled the order.
What did your dad pay for it?
$80.
I have no idea, but it's
Hold on.
now in the multiples of tens of thousands of dollars.
So you think this thing could be worth $40,000 to $100,000?
Well, it's a public radio show.
Yeah.
I should stop there.
Well, no one knows who you are or where you live, but hold on one second. And I think I understand what your question is. The best way to actually sell this in a safe way and get a fair price, right?
Well, it was planned to be auctioned off, but the sales rep, for the first time in, I don't know, 20 or 30 years.
Yeah.
We just don't see eye to eye, but what caught me...
All right, hold on. Let me take this break. I'll get back to you, and we'll figure out where this is going. 303-713-8255. I got 2 lines open. I want to hear from you right now. 303 Martino.
You should go to Sotheby's. There's specialists in watches.
Give me a sec. Play stuff, Shannon, all right? Play stuff. I'll do them at the end of the break. Can you hear me? I'll do the spots at the end of the break. Hey, what's going on? Ah, fucking A, man. Awesome, dude. Fucking awesome. When do you move? Did you tell Mom? Yeah, call. Yeah, I dig, man. Fucking congrats, dude. Call Mom and tell Pop-Pop and Joan, because they're still there right now. Good fucking job, dude. Bye.
Whoa.
Sweet.
What happened, Mark?
He got his fucking store.
Oh, he's the manager?
Yeah. Okay, I am ready when you are, sir. Fix it 24/7. I love what these guys are doing with sump pumps. Check it out. They're going to come out, tear it apart, clean it. Come out, tear it apart, clean it, make sure it works, put it back together. The rain's coming, the hail's coming. If you haven't checked that sump pump in the last few years, take advantage of this $49 special. You're going to absolutely, positively like it. $49. FixMyHome.com. That is FixMyHome.com. We just talked about this guy. In fact, he was just on, Brad O'Brien. If you're a landlord and you have not looked at your lease or updated your lease, all the changes in Colorado are unbelievable. Make sure you have a good, valid lease. You have any questions on real estate? Maybe you're looking at renting a commercial building and you have no idea what CAM charges are. Any questions, residential or commercial real estate, he's the guy. Check him out at olslaw.com. olslaw.com. Yeah, he got it. He fucking got it, man. Huge bump.
What store? Where's the store at?
Chad something. Chadwick, Kansas.
Oh, he's moving. Kansas?
Is that what it's called? Chadwick? I don't know. You
in Kansas?
You got to fucking
Sure.
ask Suzanne.
Absolutely.
No, not Kansas. What the hell am I talking about?
Yeah, I take
Nebraska.
Because I tape it to the back. That way I never lose it.
I like it.
You can wander all over the building with that.
Here it is. Chadwick, Nebraska.
Oh, yeah.
I'll give you my phone.
How's our business?
It's tiny as shit, right?
I keep it taped to the book because
I might be pretty.
It's a normal small town.
Well, let me see.
I've been to Chadwick.
Let me see what population.
Now, Paul, you don't need it to go to the bathroom.
No. Okay.
I'll show you where the bathroom is when you're ready. You want to?
Yeah, this is it. 5,000 people.
Yeah, sure. I get bored just sitting.
It's
I need
unbelievable.
exercise, Paul.
Yep. He was up against 10 people.
Jeez. Good job.
Well, it's a $250,000 a year job, man. It's a perfect first store, too. Perfect. It's in great shape. He doesn't have to walk in and fire a bunch of people. Fuck. So happy for him. Oh.
Congratulations. You guys did it right.
I am now. Give me a sec. Play stuff, Shannon. Give me a sec. Play stuff. It could have easily been fucking A. Fucking A. I didn't know how to answer the call because I knew it was either great news or I knew it wasn't great news. Yeah. Unbelievable.
No, Chadron.
Chadron, thank you.
Yeah.
How do you spell it?
Chadron. Chadron. Pronounced Chadron. And I've stayed there.
Oh my God, it looks so old. This picture that came up looks like it could be from the Wild West.
It just hasn't changed. It's like a Twilight Zone episode there.
They got a fur museum.
Look up David City if you really want to see old.
Oh, that's a normal looking Walmart. It's just not a modern building. That's what they used to look like.
Not a great situation.
It's, of course, the biggest employer by far. Walmart, I've learned, when it comes to most places in Nebraska, is the largest employer. See, here's going to be the problem. Now he's got to find a house. I don't think they're going to have apartments.
They have duplexes.
Yeah, when he was in the last place he was at, we looked at stuff like, we walked into one, Kelly. The people that were currently there packing up to move out raised rabbits in it.
Oh, no. Good Lord.
They had fucking rabbits running around on every floor with rabbit turds everywhere.
Yep, probably to eat.
Suzanne, that's why they raised them, was to eat them.
Yeah.
And then Suzanne, walked in and she was like, I'm going to wait in the car. And I didn't want to be that rude because, I'm not rude.
He should live in a fifth wheel until because he's not going to be there forever.
Yeah,
he might
give him a double wide.
He might have to live in the Walmart. How about that one broad that gave birth in a Walmart? She lived there for a while. Remember that?
Well, enough people died there.
Yes.
Somebody might as well be
Yeah,
born there.
very
Here you
true
go.
story.
Yeah, they did a movie. All right, 303-713-8255. You've been ripped off or taken advantage of. I want to hear from you. We've got a lot cooking today. I do have two, and I mean two lines open. I'm looking for that bad contractor. I am. I feel like that one. I don't know why, D, but I do. I feel like I want to hear about that dirtbag.
Well, maybe we should page through through some of our notebooks that Bo and I keep and provide some updates on some of the scumbags that we've dealt with.
We will. We're going to do some updates, but we do have two lines open. And Art, I want to finish up with you. Art's got this watch. What's it called? I've already forgot. D.
A skeleton watch is the reference name I've heard.
Did you find one of those?
I didn't look. I never got the
What
model.
were you showing price-wise on these things, roughly?
They're definitely in the 6 digits.
So these are
before
big.
the decimal point.
They're big time.
Yeah, like
is there some that are?
$250,000
I was going to say, there's some that are way up there. So it's kind of like a Rolex.
No, a lot more expensive than a
I got a Rolex at home. I bought it in New York City. It was $22.
Look, so some of these the modern skeletons are in the $250,000 range.
Oh my God, Art!
And sounds like his is a chunk.
High, but it is. I'll just leave it at that.
Well, what question can we help you with? What is your question for us?
You'll be familiar with it. I was absolutely stunned when the national sales rep, who's been with them for many years, said they'll send me the shipping box within a box to protect it. And all I had to do was take it to the shipper. I didn't have to insure it. And to me, that means if there's a loss.
Hey, Art, do you still have possession of this watch?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Don't you ever let some box show up, put this watch in it, and bring it anywhere.
Exactly. And I've lost a friendship of 30 years. He doesn't want to speak to me because he introduced me to the national sales director for
Art, I think this whole thing is scammy as it gets, brother.
Art, I have a question. The scammer, this kind of a watch, somebody's going to come out from a reputable auction house. Someone will come out, pick it up, give you a receipt, and they'll fly back with it. This isn't the kind of thing you mail back and forth.
No, it's insane, man. I don't even know why.
Thank you for validating, because I've been in business for 30 years. I've never heard of such an outrage.
How old are you, Art?
I'm in my 70s.
Okay. Hey, do you have the phone number to this guy that's trying to do this thing?
I don't have it in front of me, but
I would love to have one of our deputies reach out to him and kind of get a little better understanding
good idea.
of why he's such a scumbag. Go ahead, Art.
Go ahead.
Hey, Art.
Something else I'd like to throw in, but go ahead, please.
All right, hold on. Let me flip over to the more practical side of this matter. This is a kind of watch that's sold by reputable auction houses. So, have you established any contacts at places like Sotheby's or someone like them to chat with their watch department and see if they're interested in selling it for you?
That's the national sales rep, and I have a peculiar personality.
Wait. Who's the national sales rep?
Of what?
You know, for fine watches at an auction house.
Which one? He said Sotheby's.
I said Sotheby's. Art never told us.
It could be Sotheby's. I apologize.
It doesn't matter. You're not. That's not how they do business. So is what we're saying.
I think he's getting scammed. I think, Art, you should give us the phone number and let us check it out.
Well, just don't you put that watch in a box. Just don't do it.
Yeah. Look, man, it's an easy...
It's their box that they ship to me, but...
Is there an address on the box?
Well, he hasn't followed through on that part, and this has been
Wait. Art, you're all over the place. Let me just ask you some real basic questions. Did someone send you a box?
They have offered to.
Okay. So no one has sent you a box. How did they get your address? How did they get your phone number?
Well, through a friend that auctioned off his Rolex that he was given on retirement.
Okay. I would not do whatever you're thinking about. Period. End of story. You need to...
Thank you. You validated my point.
Okay. Do you want to know how to sell it properly? Is that what this call's about?
Well, the main thing was insuring it.
That's not my question. Here's what: are you looking to sell this very expensive watch?
Desperately, because it's either that or my house.
Was that a yes?
Did you say you want to sell it, or what did you say, Art?
Oh, desperately. I hesitate to say this over the public air.
Well, then don't. I mean, listen, it's a yes or no. Do you want to sell the watch?
Yes.
Okay. Let's try to get... here's what I want to do. Let me put you on hold. Don't go anywhere. Kelly, Marc Mager. See if you can get him on. If you go to referral list, he owns... just type in the keyword gold and pull it up. I can't think of the words. But he's a numismatic.
He's the transmission guy.
Someone help me here. He knows everything about coins.
Oh, numismatics expert.
That's the one. He's one of those. But he also deals with very rare antiques, and he knows all the auction houses. He's going to have some good insight, not only just to get a real value of what it could go for an auction, but how the hell to auction it.
Like Christie, he actually has contacts at Christie's and Sotheby's and places like that.
Correct, and maybe he's got someone that knows literally about watches, and I trust the guy. I've known him for, oh my God, we've known him here at the show for 20, 30 years.
I've used him.
Art, we're going to start with that guy.
What have you used him for?
I've used him to evaluate some coins. He's a very smart on old coins, silver.
That dude knows coins. All he does is travel around the country to coin shows. Yeah, of course. I mean, it's not some
he's
coins.
Fair. He's a fair guy.
Some coins are just spot, meaning whatever the metal's worth. And then the other ones, there's some that actually have extra value.
Yeah, uncirculated.
So, Art, hold on. We're going to try to get him up to kind of help you out here. And then Steve Moss, real quick. Listen, anybody out there that likes breweries, Suzanne and myself love going to breweries when we travel around in our RV around the country. It's one of the things we do. We love trying out local beers. This guy opened a new one. Steve Moss, if you don't know who he is, a couple real quick things. One, this guy does our theme song. When we open this show up, that's him, literally playing in the guitar, singing. He did the words. He did everything. He's done the Tree Farm jingle, which if you've lived in Colorado over one season, you've heard it everywhere from TV to radio to everywhere. And he's done a ton of jingles or theme songs, whatever you want to call them. So that's where he makes all his bread and butter. But his passion is Rock and Roll Brewery. And Suzanne and I were down there a couple weeks pre it opening it up. It finally opened up. It's only open on Saturdays only. Anybody out there that has people that love beer and love cornhole. Now, the only reason I bring up cornhole is this weekend, this Saturday. You got to sign up now, though. Not only is it a cornhole tournament where you can win, if you're good at it, $200 to $500, depending on how many people show up for the tournament, and you get not Bennett's Barbecue. What barbecue place is catering, Steve?
Famous Dave's.
Famous Dave's is catering. So you're going to get barbecue, you're going to get a beer, and then, of course, you can purchase more beer and merch from Rock and Roll Brewery. Plus, listen to this, you also get a NASCAR VIP Speedway ticket, right, for everybody that signs up?
It's good for the 2025 Colorado National Speedway season, any race this season. And it's VIP, where you get VIP parking. You'll get entrance to the Rock and Roll Brewery Beer Garden at Colorado National Speedway.
And then that's how he gets these VIP tickets. He's the main beer supplier out there. But his beers are unbelievable. I'll get right to the part I like. I like your IPAs, but the people we went out there with, listen to this, guys. 16. How many beers do you have now? 16. And we're talking high quality. We're not talking any junk. This guy's passion is this. But how many beers, Steve?
Well, we have 16 available right now, and we're going to be brewing a bourbon IPA soon.
So that means, what is it? That's a traditional IPA, or what are you doing? Like a West Coast, East Coast?
It's going to be like a real good, high-quality English ale with a lot of hops. So I think it's going to be an English IPA with a aged oak barrel bourbon aging.
You're going to love his art, too.
Special edition.
When you look at his cans and stuff, you're going to love his art. It's incredible. But I'm going to recap real quick. This Saturday, cornhole tournament, you get the Speedway ticket. You get the barbecue. He's going to have barbecue out there. And then you're going to get a beer. And then, of course, you can buy other beers. And then you enter into the cornhole tournament. What's the total cost per person? And it's limited. You can only do 25 people. I'm not going to get into why, but it's only 25, and he's got about 10 of them so far. So if you're actually good at cornhole, this could be a real quick way to put, a few $100 in your pocket. But Steve, tell them all the details real quick for Saturday.
Okay, first of all, make sure you go to rockandroll.beer. That's not .com, rockandroll.beer. Go to the appointments page. And everybody, if you're in front of a computer right now, look at the T-shirts, the merchandise page and the T-shirts. I'm going to offer Tom Martino's listeners today. I really want you guys over here. I'd like to have 5 or 6 more people in this tournament. If you guys sign at $75, which that's entry into could win $500. But we're not experts. We might even do blind doubles where you don't even know who your partner is. We don't want pros going there. We want to have some fun. But I'm going to offer them I hate doing this, but I'm going to give them in addition to all this other stuff, I'm going to give them a free brewery embroidered logo hat.
Nice.
And a 2-for-1. If you go on the T-shirts page, look under the mango shirt.
You're going to love his shirts.
It's a special edition spandex and polyester wraparound shirt. It's really cool. It cost us a lot of money. I mean, these things cost a lot of money.
You were
I'm
wearing
them
one.
2-for-1.
Yeah, you were wearing those out there. So $75 gets you the barbecue. It gets you a beer. It gives you the VIP Speedway ticket. It gets you an embroidered hat from the brewery. And if you do buy a shirt, buy one, get one free on the shirt. I love it, man. If I could be out there this weekend, I'd be out there, but I'm going to be out at one of your events to come, but he's going to be doing stuff. But this one, if you enjoy cornhole and you enjoy breweries, you're going to love this place. It's very unique, and I mean that. It's cool. It's set up beautifully, and the whole theme, of course, is rock and roll. So that's rock, the letter N, rockandroll.beer. Go get signed up right now. You're going to love it. If you love beer, you're absolutely going to love this place. Rockandroll.beer. Thanks, Steve. I'll mention it again in about an hour or so. If you did not sell out, I'll check with you. But get in there now. You're going to love it. If my mom wasn't still here, Suzanne and I would be going out to that. Give me 30. KH Windows, KH Home Solutions. You know how long these guys have been around. It's pretty impressive. 1968. I love it when it comes to windows, when it comes to siding, entry doors. In fact, now they have a new line of Alpin windows, and these things are made in Colorado, super insulating, and they're just thermally efficient. They're basically like a wall with insulation for your house, and they're just great. But if you're looking for siding, windows, and doors, you're absolutely crazy not to at least put them on the list. You're going to love them. You're going to be happy with them. Great warranties. KHWindows.com. Check them out. KHWindows.com. Become the banker. We just talked to Joe last hour. Their annuity product is absolutely wonderful. 15% bonus to work on. You know, someone around 45, 50 does $100,000 right now with that 15% bonus, and it grows up until you retire. You could be looking at $4,000 to $6,000 a month till the day you die once you turn on that trigger. Think about that. Just like Social Security or a pension, something that's guaranteed money, that much can change your life as you retire. In fact, I'll tell you something really crazy. A 20-year-old, someone that is 20 years old, that puts in $10,000 right now. Imagine if you're a parent or grandparent of a 20-year-old. A $10,000 annuity, if they retire at 65 or 70, by then we might be living to 120. But that account value could be $1 million. Listen to that. $1 million with $10,000 right now. Imagine you're dead and gone, and that grandkid or that kid all of a sudden goes, "Oh my goodness, they did this for me that long ago. Now I got $1 million." Please check them out at mymoneymyway.com. mymoneymyway.com.
Headphones not working, Brooke.
And you know that other one was just a fill.
Thank you so much. I have like a super small head.
You got a little head, Brooke?
I do.
Oh, I didn't
My
notice.
4-year-old's head is bigger.
Oh, little head, Brooke, huh?
Well, that's better than having a super ginormous head, though.
Yeah. Having an egg head.
What's worse, having a big head or large ears?
Ooh. I don't know, man.
I mean, large ears.
Some people got those ears that stick out.
They stick way out like Dumbo ears flap.
Dumbo ears. I had Dumbo ears on as a kid.
You did?
But he's kind of like a little bit reticent about coming on about watches.
Why?
Because
Just tell him it's more of a general question.
I did.
Okay.
I told him it was more of like a gold question.
Yeah.
Because he's a...
Well, it's more of auctions than anything.
Yeah. So, anyway, just telling you.
Graucius.
Oh, that guy from the auto repair shop?
Yeah, the transmission guy.
Yeah, Mark.
I've sent a few people to him to softer coins. You know, this watch, some of these skeleton watches are over $1 million. I wonder what model he has. Did he say what year?
Sounds like he doesn't know either.
Yeah, he's going to
get art is all.
I thought at first I started thinking that this guy literally put this in a box, and the problem
I
is
did too.
it hasn't been received.
Well, what's sad about it is he has to sell the watch to save his house, is what it sounds like.
Is that what he's saying? I didn't let him
something-
finish.
Something like that. He either has to sell the watch or sell his house.
I'd like to know if the watch is running. It's a complicated. want to ask.
So he's saying from both sides of it, you can see through it. So it's completely clear, and it's over 100 years old. That's insane. Someone made that watch back then.
And
I had
Mark,
a
it's
jellyfish swatch. Did anybody else in here have a swatch?
Swatch, I remember.
Did you guys have a swatch,
My
Kelly?
sister.
I'd put up my jellyfish swatch against his Audemars skeleton.
What is that? Piquet? Is that how you pronounce it?
It's spelled Piquet, but he pronounced it Piquet.
It looks like
I have the original iPod.
Yeah. Suzanne's got an original, what was the Microsoft Zune or something? Microsoft for a little bit was making that weird MP3 shit.
They were, yeah,
Before
for like,
Apple.
what, six months or something?
Yep, she won it. We walked into an advertising thing and they pulled her ticket, and back then it was like $300-400. You could hold like 100 songs on it.
I still have the original Tackstar.
Oh,
the original what?
Motorola Tackstar. Remember those?
Mm-mm. No.
It's the best phone I've ever owned.
I thought you were going to say a pager.
No, Tackstar phone.
All right, 303-713-8255. Hey, I got an expert on Marc Mager. Mark, I just need to ask you really quick. It's got nothing to do with this guy. Art calls up. He's an older guy.
Okay.
And he's got a watch that apparently is worth $250,000 plus. It's a, what is it called, D?
It's a Swiss Audemars, and the second word is, it's spelled Piaget, but he pronounced it like Piquet.
But it's like a see-through watch. It's over 100 years old. Everything we're seeing, this thing could be worth anywhere from $100,000 to $500,000.
Okay.
But it's got nothing. I'm not asking you what the value of it is. He needs to sell it. So when you deal with something that's very expensive, and I know you deal with some coins that are absolutely insane, how does that typically work? If you want to get to an auction with it, I mean, he had one guy reach out to him and say, hey, I'm going to send you a box. Just put it in the box, and I pre-labeled it, and you don't even have to.
No.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
a lot of times, like when I'm getting big coin collections and they're really high-end coins, I do those on consignment to get more money for the customer. Now, I know several people that deal in high-end watches, so I think what would be best for me to help him out is if he would just call me on my direct line. Maybe he can send me some pictures of this watch. I can forward those pictures over to people that I know and have known for a long time and see what I can do to assist him with getting it sold.
All right. Do you know about like Sotheby's and stuff, though, how some of this auction stuff works?
Heritage, yeah.
Yeah, hold on then. If we can call him back, too, but Art, and then I'll see if Art has any more questions. These guys are telling me he might be losing his house if he doesn't get this sold quick. So everybody hold tight. We got some lines open, 303 Martino, 303-713-8255.
That's just crazy.
Can you imagine wearing a $200,000 watch?
Never.
Can you imagine that?
People cut your finger off for a cheap gold ring.
I just saw one for $680,000, and it says sale price $150 off.
150.
Hey, babe, I'm not going to mention it really on air either. Miles News. He said, just wait a couple days, whatever that meant. How cool is that? My boy!
Congratulations.
Yeah.
So what happened with him? What's he up to?
He got a store. He now runs a
whole store.
Walmart store in Nebraska. He just found out literally when he called me that he got it. It's huge deal. Huge.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Does he get like a percentage of the profits then of the store or something?
Walmart is so good, just in general. I won't talk his numbers, but if let's say your salary's $150, you can bonus double your salary. So a big store like Aurora or DIA, a DIA store manager, one of his old ones, $200,000 and then $400,000 bonus, so he made $600,000. So
That's gross.
they take care of their managers. Anybody that says Walmart, maybe way back when they didn't, but that's all bullshit.
Yeah,
If you're a fucking hustler like him and you know what you're doing, you can make a ton of fucking money. Really? A ton of money.
Nice.
That doesn't sound
Congrats.
Yeah.
It's an exciting week for your family.
Yeah,
One
it
kid
is.
graduating law school, the other one getting that store. That's awesome.
He had a little hiccup in his career about a year ago.
When the grandkids.
But he would have been the youngest store manager Walmart ever had.
Really?
Now he's probably second.
Yeah.
And Addie is literally the youngest attorney, or what is it, lawyer? I keep forgetting what the proper is now, to graduate in Wyoming.
What?
Yeah.
That's
So when the grandkids coming? When are you going to be Grandpa Mark?
Neither of them. I'm telling you, both of them, I'd be shocked if they had kids before 30.
Really?
It's just not. They've got a grand scheme of getting the big house and getting a nice bank account, then having kids.
Yeah, that's what Aaron and I did.
Yeah, a lot of people
I can't go
nowadays,
number 2 anymore.
it's just different than it used to be. I mean, it's just different.
Well, for us in Denver, and this isn't like a crazy place. This is just our neighborhood daycare. $3,600 a month for kids to be in that. Mm-hmm. It's insane how much kids cost right now.
Oh, really?
And that's again not like a private fancy. It's just
What's that school, Brooke?
just like a daycare center. That's,
Oh, no
that's
kidding.
near us. Yeah.
We know friends of ours that have kids out here. They have one kid, and it's $2,000 a month for daycare.
Jesus.
But here's what drives me crazy about their scenario, okay? This is their kids, our friends' kids. And they're 30s. They're like 30 years old. They both work from home. And they pay $2,000. They say they want to socialize the kids. We were the complete opposite. We were lucky enough to where Suzanne, she actually was a bookkeeper for Tom. So she would bring Miles and Addie right over to his house, playpen set up, and just do whatever. I mean, we were lucky enough to where that was it. I could never been at home. I was running computer stores, and I was like you, out all the time. And so we got lucky in that. But they're both at home. And I'm like, geez, between the two of you, you got to spend that $2,000.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, Aaron and I, we split childcare now. So I watch the kids up until like 3 o'clock-ish, and then I see my clients 3 o'clock after. Randomly, we'll have help, if I have to have a meeting during the day.
Isn't it so much better?
And then Aaron, since he works from home, he starts work early to get, because that's a lot of money.
There's
That's
some
whole mortgage payment.
I feel bad for people that simply can't do it.
Yeah.
Because you're right, it's so much money, it's insane.
I didn't realize it was so expensive. I guess I'm lucky my kids are out of it.
Back in the day, I remember you could get like an au pair or bring someone over from Germany or get a nanny come in, fairly cheap because you'd be giving them room, board, path to citizenship or whatever that looks like. And, and then X amount to spend. But I don't know if shit like that's around. And even if it was, I'm not sure how much I'd trust somebody.
What about, isn't Colorado supposed to have passed a law, or didn't we pay taxes on that school where, kids can daycare school?
They're running out of money.
They are?
The one where everybody gets preschool?
Yeah, preschool for everybody.
Yeah, they're basically not only for that, they ran out of money for the free food for everybody.
Everybody's supposed to get free lunches?
Everybody. Even my kids could get a free lunch, which is just absurdity. Tom's kids, he could land them in a helicopter and they'd fucking feed them for free. Give me a break.
Feed them for
Common sense is a dying commodity.
Yeah.
Where is the and people would argue, well, there's a stigma being on free lunch. When I grew up, I'd agree. The kids with free lunch had a punch card, and you could tell they didn't have cash. They had a punch card. Nowadays, when our kids were in high school, they load a little debit card, and it can only work at the school, and everybody has them. The ones with free lunch, it's this exact same card. You'd never know.
Yeah.
I remember I was young enough where you had to actually hand money to ride the bus to school. You had to give them money for the lunch.
Yep.
Yeah, 52 cents for lunch.
That's right.
Yeah. Yep. I just can't believe every kid gets like free breakfast in Colorado. And now they're going, we underestimated it by a shitload. Well, no kidding. You just gave everybody free breakfast. We've got, our administration here is just dumb. I mean, yeah, it's a great thing. I wish everybody could get free everything, but it just simply doesn't work that way.
They don't have an understanding of how the real world works. They really don't. They just vetoed that union bill that basically required one vote instead of two. That means anybody could unionize.
I think there's after school.
Yeah, there's another. I think you're right.
Colorado. And listen, man, if there's a kid that can't afford it, I don't mind my tax dollars going to some kid whose parents are bums. I mean, they're not grown up yet, but
well, it's not the kid's fault. The kids shouldn't have to live with that stigma.
No, and they don't. That's the whole thing.
Yeah, it's 15 hours of preschool if your kid's in full-time preschool. So it's about a third of the cost of preschool.
Here, listen.
Kindergarten's free, and then if you don't make any money, then you qualify for everything free.
So here it is. In Colorado, the Healthy School Meals for All program allows public schools to provide free meals to all students, including after-school snacks, regardless of income. I wonder if I can just wander in and pick up
This nationwide keyword on our website, cash. That's cash. Enter it now at khow.com. Keep listening to win on 630 KHOW.
Yeah. Ripped off, bad news. You need advice so you don't have to lose. We'll come running just as fast as we can. Troubleshooter's gonna help the common man.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Welcome, my friends, to the only show that's got you here to solve problems, answer questions, take complaints. If you've been ripped off or have any questions whatsoever, we want to hear from you. I have two deputies right next to me. Deputy D, Deputy Bo, ready to take on anything you got going. These two have, I mean, honestly, Deputy Bo, I remember when you almost got thrown in jail. We got a call from him at an apartment complex because some deadbeat apartment manager towed some car of someone that actually lived there. And I don't even want to recap the whole story, but the next thing I hear, they called the cops on me. And you know what Bo said? I'll be right here when they show up.
I gave them a description so they wouldn't have to bother with it.
You know, that was crazy, man, but that's what these guys do. In fact, we'll get into updates in a second, but if you have any issues out there and need some help, now's a great time to call 303-713-8255. I also have two referral list members that I really like a lot. Paul Dowding and Brooke White. Brooke White is Red Rock Solar, or Roofing and Solar, and Paul Dowding is Water Pros. They're just great people, a wealth of knowledge. They're both hard workers, and that's what I really like. In fact, I'm going to tell you something about Brooke. Brooke is amazing when it comes to solar. She started a company that has done so well in Colorado, it's crazy. It doesn't matter commercial or residential, anything solar. They can repair old systems because the company you bought it from went out of business. In fact, we've had callers call in and say, not only did she come out and repair our system, but she informed us that part of it was under warranty from the manufacturer, and she got that paid for. I mean, that's amazing, and just charges labor on it. But here's what I love everything about Brooke, but here's what amazes me. Anytime I call up, just like when I need an expert, an attorney, or a water expert like Paul, during the show, I'll say, hey, Kelly, get on our solar expert, Brooke. Every time, because of the time of the show, I assume, she's on a roof. Not only is she the owner and has salespeople, I'll be like, she'll be on the air and I'm hearing, hey, I'm like, Brooke, where are you at? She's like, oh, I'm up on a roof. I mean, not only is she the owner, but you've done every part. You've done sales, you've done installation, you've done repairs, you've worked with Excel, you've done every aspect of your business, haven't you?
Yeah, absolutely. That's the only way you know how it's going to get done right.
I love it. She literally learned the solar business top to bottom. What is your favorite, if you could only choose one role? Okay, let's say, whatever. You could only choose one role. Would it be sales? Would it be like troubleshooting people's problems with old systems? Would it be installation of a new residential system or an array like in a field, a commercial array? What if you could only do one thing day to day in solar, what would it be?
Definitely solar fields. And the reason being is that it creates the community to become the utility company. So the community actually makes money off of it. And the folks within that community have about half or less of their electric bill. So everybody saves. Plus, they're just really cool, intricate projects.
So when you have an array, explain that a little bit. You told me about one you have up around Cripple Creek.
Mm-hmm.
Did I get that right?
Yep, Cripple Creek.
So you know somebody up there. Do they actually have an array, or they have the land that is ready to have an array built?
So we're doing that project there.
Okay.
They have the land. We've got the contracts. We're working with Black Hills to get everything through.
Okay.
Because of that, the family that owns the land and is doing the project, they're going to make generational wealth on this. And the community of Cripple Creek itself, their utility bill is going to be permanently cut in half.
Now, and here's the part I didn't understand until I met you. When someone does an array like that in a community, is that literally with the municipality, the city?
It depends on how you tie it together, but yeah, absolutely. The municipality can be part of that.
And then, so these people are going to create this huge array on their land. How big is this one going to be? Like how many panels roughly?
It's a 5 megawatt system.
I don't know what that means.
It's a lot of acres.
It's a lot of acres? Oh, so it's huge.
Yeah, it's a big field.
So it's going to generate a ton. And part of the reason you get grant money, now this part's incredible, how much out of pocket, if all the grant money comes through and everything goes the way you think it's going to go, how much eventually out of pocket will be on this solar system?
Nothing. The family's actually going to make 40% of the project with the grants and the tax credits that they have.
Think about that. Paul, with the grants and tax credits, they get this array for free when it's all said and done. Now, the bad news for people listening is you got to have that money up front to fund the whole project. Then when it's done, then when it's online, she goes out and grabs you the grant money, and we have tons of listeners that have done it. So then the whole thing's paid for. And the reason there's grant money, do you know why there's grant money? Nothing to do with the green new steel anymore. Nothing to do with that. And I didn't realize this. The reason a lot of these communities and even the feds have grant money is because you have to offer your electricity, because now you're an electric company, for less than what the utility sells it for, right? Isn't there a minimum?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a twofold thing. The first one is you're getting power to folks more reliably that are in communities that have struggled, whether that's just because of, in Cripple Creek, it's mountains, it's hard for that infrastructure to exist.
Yeah.
Or whatever else is going on.
It's
old. And then the second piece is exactly like what you said. It's offering folks another option.
To compete with that bad power, if you will, in that case.
Yeah, utility companies and railroads are the only monopolies left in the U.S., right? You don't have an option on what you can do, at least in the state of Colorado, for who you get power through. Yep.
See, so think about that. So now you get the system eventually for free. You get all your money back on the infrastructure. It's up and running. You are now competing directly with, who is it up there? Is it Black Hills? Who is it?
Yeah, Black Hills.
So now you're completely giving everybody there an option. Even the commercial people, like those casinos, isn't that a little casino town?
Yeah, it's a big casino town. So that system is going to power the entire town.
So, but I'm saying, so the casinos can literally say, we don't want Black Hills anymore. And the reason they would do it, and I'm talking to Paul the Waterman, the reason they would do it is they save a minimum of what?
50%.
50%. So if their electric bills, whatever, $20,000 a month, now they're at $10,000 a month.
Yep.
So it's a win-win-win. You get a free system, you get that money. It's insane, man.
How long does it take to get the original investor? How long does it take for them to get their money back?
Yeah. When is it up? In this particular one, when would you guess it's up and running with checks coming in from the grant money? How much is going to be outlaid, if you don't mind? $1 million, $2 million, $5 million? 10 million.
How does it all work? So because it's a commercial tax credit, they're able to access those tax credits immediately. So based on how we organize it, they're actually never out of pocket, because the grant that we're using funds with the project. It's a match. It's not after the project's up and running.
So there's no out-of-pocket expense for the landowner.
They started with a 5% out of pocket, but they received that immediately back on tax credits. So it's like a 30-day delay.
Now ask this. So let's say, how many tax credits do you think the whole thing will get at the end?
94% of the project's covered with tax credits.
Okay, so now you're going to go, listen, if you're smart and people listening going, well, my God, that's going to be, what is that, $5 million in tax credits?
Close to 14 million.
14 million in tax credits. Most people are going to go, I would never spend $14 million on taxes in my life. I simply don't make that. I got all this upfront money to start an array because I own the property, and basically maybe my parents passed away and left me some money, but I'll never use those tax credits, right? And a tax credit, that's exactly what it is. It offsets taxes, yo. So, listen to this. Tell them, Brooke.
You can sell your tax credit.
You can sell your tax credit.
Yep, you can sell your tax credit.
It's almost like an auction now for them. And big corporations, not just big corporations, people that got big taxes.
So do they pay pennies on the what?
75
cents on the dollar?
There you go.
70 cents on the dollar, yep.
So the person that buys them, think about it, the person that buys them is saving 30% on their taxes.
Wow.
And then on top of it, the utility company also wins because the state of Colorado just passed legislation that they have to have so much of their infrastructure supported by solar system production as well.
It is such a win-win. The important part is when you go into something like this, you team up with someone like Brooke who knows what the hell they're doing. Not only that, they know how to build the array, but more importantly, she knows how to get the money.
That's most important.
I always say in your spots when I do them for you, Brooke's got a nose for smelling the money.
What about?
And it's true.
What about snow? I mean, do you have to go out there if it's going to snow in the mountains? Snow could cover the solar panels. I mean, seriously, do you have to keep track of that, or does the sun melt the snow off? I mean,
great question.
Yeah, that is. So with a solar field, they're all ground mount. So you could have somebody, if you're getting like a 4-foot thing of snow, come out and just take a broom and brush through the acres. But they're solar panels that are angled and they're above ground to a certain extent. So you'd have to have like a very big amount of snow to totally block. I mean, you're talking like 10 feet of snow.
Does something like that actually, do the panels themselves move or no? Do they follow the sun or they're stationary?
You can have them follow the sun. I prefer stationary because the more moving parts you have, the more
can break.
Exactly. And if you do bifacial panels, which means that the front and the back of the panels absorb and do the production aspect of it, you're really not gaining much by having the tracking versus having it bifacial.
Does a big array like that feed back to the grid? In other words, if all the casinos and homes aren't using all the power it generates.
Absolutely, it feeds back to the grid.
And they pay for it?
Yep, it's at retail value.
You can't.
Brooke, so
it's insane, Paul.
The example that you just cited, roughly speaking, once it's online, roughly speaking, what is the monthly revenue for the electricity sales? And the second part of my question is, roughly speaking, what is the annual deterioration rate and production capacity of this system?
Depreciation. That's what he's asking
No, like the actual degradation and power generating capacity.
Yeah, absolutely. So the solar panels themselves, that's the solar panel part, they are warranted to do a 0.025% degradation annually. So it's very minimal what your production degradation is going to go down by. And I always say check the National Renewable Energy Lab, NREL. You can put in your details on your address, your system size, and it will give you an accurate description of what your system should produce. Because you don't want to trust a salesperson. They're going to tell you it's going to produce a ton,
so
right?
Roughly speaking, what would that person get every month from the power company after selling them the power?
Yeah, so for the project that we're talking about, I mean, it's over the lifespan of the system, you're talking about 120 million that these folks are going to make.
And what's that based off
that?
of? Yeah.
It's based on the
30 years, 40 years,
20 years, because for a project like
10
this,
million a year.
It's a 20-year contract with the utility company. At year 21, you just renegotiate that contract because
or sell it or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So
Dimitri, I'm telling you, the problem is getting into something like this. you got to have the money in the first place, though.
And the land.
Yeah, or the credit to get everything put together right. Yeah, well, and the land's a big one. I mean,
the land is easy to do because you can add the purchase of the land to the solar agreement and then get
Wait
the
a
tax
minute.
credits on that.
Wait a minute. So then, in theory, you could buy land with no money.
Yes.
oh yeah, that's true. Listen to that.
Yeah, your issue is having tax credits.
Where's a place up and coming? Like if I wanted to get 5 people together and do something huge like this, because I know certain areas it just wouldn't matter. For example, way out in Kiowa, I can't imagine you would do something like this because it's just too far away, or what?
No, actually far away is better because you get more tax credits because of that. You want to do, so in Colorado, anything down south is usually considered anything.
All right, hold on. Let me take this break. Now I'm like, my cash register and my brain is ticking. It literally is. Everybody hold tight. We got a couple lines open, and Tammy, I promise you, I will get to you. In fact, real quick, what is the problem with roofing, Tammy? Did the roofer show up, not show up, a bad job? Give me the basics really fast.
Okay, really fast. In 2011, my roof was replaced by a roofing company. They did a fine job.
Okay.
But they put on a malarkey roof, which was a 50-year warranty.
Yep.
I found out last year when I went to change my gutters to make them bigger because
I know.
the slope is so high. Well, I found out last year that my shingles are degraded to the point where you can't even tell if I ever had hail damage or not.
I got you. Is Malarkey, is the manufacturer still around, or are they out of business? They are still around.
They're huge.
All right, hold on. Now I get the idea of it, and I've got the perfect guy I can ask how to get a warranty through that company. Plus, we'll finish up that call. Everybody hang tight. And by the way, redrocksrs.com is Brooke's website. And then Paul Downing, we're going to talk more water too, but waterpros.net. Everybody chill. We'll be right back after these messages.
So what about PETA and said, hey, you're going to burn all the birds?
Burn the birds?
The solar panel. Remember some online people too many solar panels?
Oh, that's when you have like Vegas where like all the light
They point
energy.
towards hot water.
Yeah,
Okay.
mine don't do that.
Okay.
Well, I mean, they could, but we don't. There's no reason to do that in the way we have stuff set up.
Gotcha.
But yeah, that's a great question.
Dude, they fly over that thing. By the way, it's closing down in Vegas. The birds just poof. Poof.
Yeah,
They just
gone.
vaporize.
Poof.
They're gone.
VesteraTurnkey.com. Barry Miller teamed up with Team Martino and Wave 8. These guys have something that's incredible. Basically, Barry has got the knack to find these properties across the country in areas that are up and coming for whatever reason. Maybe Microsoft is moving in a year, but he finds the right property for you, the right price point. You buy it, you own it, it's deeded in your name. You can sell it whenever you want. But the key is you hold on to it for a little bit while it appreciates. Then you sell it. Then next time, maybe you buy 2. They have listeners making over 50% annually. Check them out at VesteraTurnkey.com. VesteraTurnkey.com. XL Roofing! I love when Jay comes in. I love when Henry comes in. They know more about roofing than anybody out there. They are probably the largest or one of the largest in the entire state of Colorado, and their motto is the best. You do not pay a cent until you're content. You don't pay them a nickel to that. Roof is 100% done, and you sign off of what a good job it was, and it happens all the time. When it hails, you call Excel Roofing. Never go with a door knocker. These out-of-state companies show up, and they want to get on your roof. They might trick you into signing a contract. And by the way, if you enter into a contract with Excel and change your mind for some reason, long as they didn't already do the roof, they're the kind of roofers that'll let you out of the contract. XLRoofing.com. And if you had hail damage last year and haven't called anybody, you have 1 year, guys. 1 year to call. So if you had your neighbors getting new roofs and you never made the call, call Excel. They'll come out, they'll look at it, they'll tell you for free whether or not you have a problem. XLRoofing.com.
Mark, you go out east to Elbert County where all the new subdivisions are. You get a big plot of land.
That's why I'm going to ask her.
Get it for free. Yeah. Put all these solar panels up there and feed the subdivision.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah, we need to ask that on the air.
doing that way means that you get to charge the homeowners that price. So yeah, you make a really good.
And they
return.
do great because they're getting 50% off their power.
Or whatever you choose. I mean,
But you have to at least discount it a little, right?
Nope. Only if you are in certain areas. So if you get a 20% tax credit on the project, let's say it's $1 million, you can get 200,000 tax credit if it's in the right location. And then you're required to do at least a 20% discount on the utility rate to those
Get
clients.
Jay or Henry on, please, for one.
Or if you're choosing Elbert County, which probably doesn't, it's probably not in that area, then you can charge them exactly what the utility company does. You're only required to do the 20% discount or greater, whatever is in your heart, if you get that 20% tax credit.
I don't know why people aren't going out there right now and literally doing this.
Well, I mean, she kind of just knows how to do it. It's the main thing.
It's the capital. A lot of people want to do it, but they don't have the capital to start.
You do have to have capital to start, man.
You have to have at least 5% of the project to start, and then you have to have the tax liability to get those tax credits
You
back.
could go to any bank, right? With this, when they say you go to any bank, and if you have your poop together.
No, I think they're going to want to. I mean, I don't think they're talking a loan. I mean, you got to have the 5%, right?
You can loan it,
Yeah,
definitely.
you can-
I mean, I work with banks all the time that do these projects, but you're right. The financials of whatever you're doing have to match.
You got to have to be credit worthy, but you could
You know
go
where
basically
Byers,
and use the
Colorado
bank's
is?
money.
Well, I'm saying you get
let me
2
look
to
it up
5
real quick.
people together to do a $14 or $20 million system like this.
Brooke, how much land do you need?
You become an electric company. I mean, it's really crazy.
5 acres?
And you can stick
5
it to
acres
the
is plenty.
assholes.
That's right.
Yeah, 5
You
acres.
just
is
need
plenty.
like 5 acres to do it.
So buyers, yeah, that would definitely.
Is that within one of those high credit areas?
You would be good where buyers is.
You got some land out there, Dimitri?
No, but my gun club owns 2,700 acres,
There you
almost
go.
none of which is used, right? 'Cause
They do? Or,
So,
Do you
and
have
we
a-
have millions of dollars in the bank.
Do you have a community out there you can tie into?
Well, it's farmland, so the community is all the farmers, right? And I don't know who the electric service provider is. Does
That's-
it have to be like a town, or could it just be some electric company?
2,700 acres.
So the microgrid grant in the state of Colorado that goes up to $2.5 million.
Mm-hmm.
That one you have to tie into a community. So if you want the grant, that's kind of you have to like tie into a fire department or something considered community benefit. A lot of the utilities that are out there are smaller, so they might be buying power from interstate, so they can only produce so much of their power.
Gotcha.
So it just kind of depends on those requirements. The best plots of land are going to be like Colorado Springs and south within Black Hills territory, because Black Hills is public, so they have to accept the project no matter what.
Oh, interesting.
When you get to a co-op, they have a lot more wiggle room as to what they want to do or not do.
Yeah,
So
you
Excel and Black Hills have to do projects.
Maybe what you do is put something together, like the best place to do it. And then I'll go out and try to get 3 or 4 of us to put together an LLC just to knock it out.
Yeah,
But,
absolutely.
I mean, really, we depend on you to know that area, the best place to do
Yeah,
it.
I'd be interested in it.
Like you're saying with Black Hills.
Thierry Advisors, TrajanWealth.com.
All right, 303-713-8255. You know, behind the scenes, it's going crazy here. I think I got a investment thing that literally I'm going to get involved in. And in fact, it's kind of funny just going around the table. Everybody's pretty happy. Hey, I do have an expert, though. Tammy, I have our expert, Henry Bretz, listening in right now. So isn't
Hi,
it...
Henry.
Yeah, you had a malarkey roof installed 10 years ago, roughly. No, 14 years ago.
2011.
So in 2011, you had it, and it's degraded to the point where I assume it's an asphalt roof, right?
Yeah.
So there's no more
Class
granules?
4, and the granules are gone.
So it's just wear and tear. And it had a 50-year apparently it's covered for 50 years, the materials, right?
That's what it said. So when I found out, just so you know, when I found out last year, of course, I got on their website. They do it by, in increments. So you're 100% insured for so long, then you're less insured. Never was it 50. I mean, it would have never been 50. But when I got online last year, I was still under the 15-year mark where they said that it was still 100% covered.
So where are we at now? Have you called up?
Oh, I tried calling a million people last year.
Yeah, well, like who have you called? Have you called the manufacturer? Is it really called malarkey? Am I crazy? Isn't that what Joe Biden says all the time? Oh, that's malarkey. That is, that's got to be the worst name.
I would never buy a malarkey roof.
Yeah, well, it's literally called malarkey.
Wow. Yes, malarkey.
That's the dumbest thing I have ever heard.
And of course, I didn't care about that word back then. I mean, we didn't have somebody ruining our country back then. Well, we didn't have Biden doing it. But anyway, that being said, I called and called. I left messages because every time I would get a number.
With malarkey, right?
Yes, with malarkey.
Did you ever get? Let me speed you up a little, Tammy. Did you ever get through to him?
No. So I had a guy come by the other day, the walk-up guy, and because I knew about this issue, I told him the story, and he said, oh, no, we can get that taken care of. And then he finds out that it's not 100% covered anymore. They've changed their warranty, which, if you look, I have the warranty.
Yeah, that's why you said it was within that 15-year period, but you actually have the warranty. What is the warranty state that you have, roughly, or not roughly?
It just says 50 years.
All right, hold on a second. Let me lock you in. Hey, Henry Bretz, what's going on, Henry?
Hey, Mark. So it's Henry Bretz, and Jay Bretz is also here. So
Jay, what the hell's going on, big man?
What's happening, Mark?
Good.
Hey, first of all, malarkey? They actually named their product malarkey? Am I crazy?
That is the whole company.
Yep.
Malarkey.
It was the guy's last name is what it was.
We had a contractor. We had a contractor in Colorado Springs called Oops Construction, and I thought that was the dumbest damn name I ever heard. Now I'm like malarkey, but guys, please shed light onto this. What she should do, how it's supposed to work, please.
So, before you do, there's this company called Native said, "Oh no, we're pretty big. We've got a malarkey rep. We're going to talk to him." And I was like, "No way."
So what happened though?
Well, malarkey doesn't want to cover my roof.
Why are they saying they're not going to cover it? Then I got to let these guys get involved. Why are they saying now?
That they're not saying why. They're just not.
But you've never talked to malarkey. Okay, now hold on. I'm putting her on hold. So guys, please jump in here.
So the warranty for malarkey is prorated. So that means that it's going to get lesser and lesser over the years. And what she's talking about, that granule loss, is pretty consistent with asphalt roofs. There may be a possibility that there's a defect where it shedded more granules. But, I mean, we're big fans of Owens Corning because Owens Corning, they have a great warranty and they stand behind their work.
Yeah, but what is it? But Henry, what is this lady? What can she possibly do? I mean, even if it's prorated, and if it's a 50-year roof, she should only be looking at X amount. Can you guys say get the product prorated and have them do the right thing, then you guys charge her labor? I mean, I don't know. Like, what are her options?
So her best option would be filing a warranty claim through malarkey and then getting the malarkey rep out there into starting the process and really pushing hard on it, because she has that warranty. She should really, use it to the extent of what is offered. And if they're going to push back on it, I'd really just push hard on the malarkey rep and the malarkey warranty to get as much of the thing covered as possible.
She's in Colorado. I think, didn't she say she's in Colorado Springs, or am I nuts? Hold on, let me ask her something. Hey, where are you located, Tammy?
I'm in Elizabeth, and it's already been filed to malarkey through this Native company, and no one from malarkey has contacted me. And now, apparently, Native isn't going to bat for me either anymore, because I don't know why. He hasn't told me why.
Do you got to be, Henry, do you have to be a malarkey supplier in order to get a warranty for a customer? And then is it generally just on the materials, whether it's prorated or covered 100%? How do most, how does that work?
So, Mark, how that usually works is it's just a material-only warranty in most cases. And to answer your question, no, you don't have to be a specific malarkey company. And really, what that company should have done was taken off some of the shingles and sent them into malarkey.
But they're not.
So it doesn't.
That's what you guys would
sound
do.
to me like they're really handling this correctly. Absolutely. What we would do is we would pull off a couple of the shingles, send them to malarkey, and then prove if they're defective or not, right? Because that's what the warranty is going to cover. I think she needs a better contractor working on that. That's just my opinion.
Do you guys mind going out? You guys go to Elizabeth, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We can take care of that.
Can you? Okay, let's do this. Here's what I want to do, Tammy. I'm going to have Excel Roofing come out and like get involved in this and figure out what's going on. But I want you to understand something. You know, if it's a prorated roof, you'll get the materials for whatever the proration is. They're going to fight and get whatever they can for you. But whatever it is what it is. And that's going to be for the materials. You're still going to have to pay labor to put the roof on. But, I mean, you're going to save a lot of money if they can get a warranty from you. So I just want to make sure you're on that understanding.
Well, I absolutely am, because
Great.
I can't file an insurance claim because it's so degraded.
I got it.
That you can't even tell if it's had hail damage.
I got it. Let me put you on hold. So let's make sure we have all our information, Kelly, and we're going to pass that along to Henry here. Henry, on a side note.
Can I add some stuff?
Go ahead.
Quick? Okay, so just so all the people listening know, a lot of these companies claim they have a lifetime warranty, but it's pretty misleading because they do this prorated program where they devalue the roof. And that's why we love Owens Corning. For the first 10 years, Owens Corning pays for everything. And that's why we push
even the labor? Hard.
Even labor.
That's incredible.
Everything. Labor, permit, dump fees, everything. And so, like, in my opinion, a lot of asphalt shingles are pretty similar, right? It's just granules and the fiberglass and everything. It's really the company that stands behind it. You know, and Owens Corning stands behind their material.
You brought up something good, and I want to explain this to people. So in my Goodyear days, we would have a road hazard product. So in other words, if your tire blew out and you bought the insurance policy, we'd give you a free tire. And when you were through the Goodyear network, that's exactly how it would work. But Big O and a lot of these other people on the road hazard, if you had 50% of that tire, then you had a sidewall blowout, you would get 50% off your next tire. And that was very misleading as well. So I appreciate you bringing that up, Henry. On a total side note, you told me Colorado Springs got nailed with hail. We've been lucky here in Denver. What areas of the Springs got nailed? And you guys are out there. I mean, we'll give the phone number out there in the Springs here in a sec. But what areas should people go out and look?
So we experienced some incised hail, and it was a little pocket up north. I don't have that address right off the top of my head, but it wasn't a major storm, but there were some areas that certainly got some hail.
Excellent. So people, if you got hail, these guys will come out. Never call your insurance company first. Ever. It's going to end up on your clue report. You call a good roofer like Excel Roofing that's been around forever. And once again, you don't pay a cent to your content. And they help out our listeners like Tammy all the time. But you call them out, they'll look at it and they'll say, hey, yeah, you do have damage. Time to call the insurance company. Or they'll say, no, there's no damage there. You're going to do yourself a wrong by calling the insurance company. And Excel Roofing, you can reach them at excelroofing.com. That's the easiest. They have the Denver location. They have up north. And then Colorado Springs has a 719 phone number. I simply don't have it up here. So go to excelroofing.com. And Dragon's about to kick me in the face if I don't do this.
Old lady's house.
I love it.
Take a look at the shower door handle.
Why don't you give me, if you're over there quick enough, give me a call if we're still on.
Yeah, look at what kind of a
Of our garage? Yeah.
Wow.
Aaron, my husband, has always wanted to.
That would be great, actually, if you get over there in time.
So when can we wait till the construction's done, or when do you recommend it?
Probably do it before. where's the water main come into? Because you want to make sure that you can put it in an area that can be properly drained.
I know nothing about water.
Yes, the water, majority of Dimitri, what you need, water filtration systems, you want to go put in a washer.
No, I'm gonna go look at that lady's shower door handle.
He's going to go fix that lady's handle. You know what? Maybe even just a little Loctite.
Yep.
Okay, hold on, guys. RestoreYourHair.com. It's pretty incredible. I'm going to tell you what this guy did. His name's Nick Turner. He went shopping around. He wanted to get a new head of hair. He wanted a hair transplant. He was getting prices for like $29,000, $30,000 from places somewhat local or even in the States. He found another person that had a hair transplant in Istanbul, Turkey, by this guy, Dr. Nuri. And the guy was so happy, Nick started looking into it. Sure enough, he flies over there. He spent a few days before the transplant, had the transplant done, and then a few days after. And by the way, the aftercare is world class, Nick says. Staff is professional, and Dr. Nuri was just the best. He flew back. He couldn't be happier. All for around $7,000 for the same level of treatment. Think about that. Think of the money he saved. And he said, think of it this way, too. As an added bonus, it's a fun trip to Turkey. It's like a mini vacation. That's pretty incredible. Check him out at recoveryourhair.com. That's recoveryourhair.com.
So
I got to get a water.
If you have,
you guys want anything?
Yeah,
I can't phone number 2 anymore.
Thank you.
So mainly, are you looking for your house in the apartment?
Yeah, for both. Mm-hmm.
So then, where does the water main come into your home?
I mean, we have a crawl space area.
Okay, so it might be in the crawl space. So
We have like a little basement, but most of the house is like a crawl space. We have maybe like 200 square feet that's like basement-y, and the rest is crawl space.
So then we could probably tap it in there.
Okay.
Right there. Yeah, feed the whole area.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Should I just text you? Hey, here's my information, or what would you like?
Yeah, 720.
Oh, give me 1 second. So sorry.
No, that's right. 951
951
4130.
4130.
Yeah, and then I'll bug you and set a time that's convenient. Come by and take a look at everything for you. That's awesome.
Yeah, we're heading out of town. We won't be back until after Memorial.
Yeah, I know.
We're leaving tonight.
Yeah, everybody's looking forward to this weekend.
Yeah, but absolutely.
Thank you, Mark.
You're welcome. Man, I'm in a good mood now that my kid is
As you should be. That's
happy as a lark. Both my kids, like in the same week. One graduates law school and one gets the killer promotion. It's like, fuck. Now I'm worried of what bad's going to happen. Like, okay, this is too good to be true. Is my house going to blow up over the weekend?
No. I think you should be even happier that I came up with that idea for you to go find investors and put up your own solar plant, power plant.
I think we should actually really think about it.
I'm telling you, that's that.
You know what we could do too is I got 2 or 3 attorneys that might get involved too, which kind of helps us out in numerous ways.
And I think,
for sure, absolutely.
I think that you put a business plan together, you go to a banker, and they'd finance the whole freaking project.
I don't know if I want to. We just got to look at real numbers, but if at all possible, I'd much rather not give the bank any money.
No, I get you,
But it wouldn't matter if you got 4 or 5 investors. I don't care how my other partners got their money. I mean, anybody can do whatever they want.
So the thing is that you have to set it up with a business that has tax liability. So that's your kicker. So if you owe taxes, and it doesn't matter what size of the project.
What happens if it flows through you? Like you have a huge tax liability, but it's K1s on everything.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
But all that I'm saying is, like, if the project is $100,000 and you pick the right spot and it hits the grant, you pay me $5,000. you get that, you get like $60,000 back within a month because of the tax liability, and then you use that $60,000 to fund the project. So you're actually not out money. You just have to do it strategically, and you have to have the tax liability to make it work.
Anybody has tax liability.
As long as those are the requirements.
So I wouldn't start a new LLC. I would take something that's existing and then...
Well, that's why I was asking her. I mean, the tax liability part, let's say you pay $250,000 in taxes.
Wait, you sell it.
Well, you can sell it too.
There you go. I mean, that's more money. Then you don't have to.
But if someone does pay $250,000 in taxes, but all of it flows down through you, everything's under your social, how does that work?
So a single filer LLC, your taxes.
Denver's talk station. Online at khout.com.
All right, 303-713-8255. I love solving problems, answering questions, taking complaints. You have anything going on, we want to hear from you. 303-Martino. I got a few lines open. 303-Martino. You can call that number right now, get through. Deputy Dimitri's actually headed out to a caller in the first hour. Nice older woman called in, somewhere in her 80s. She's blind. Her husband is not doing great, but the door handle keeps falling off their shower, and they happen to live right around here in the tech center. So Dimitri's literally heading out there to see if he can fix it up. But the interesting part was this. There's a hole in their backyard, and something's living in it, according to the woman. So not only is Dimitri going to fix the door handle, next hour we're going to find out what has made a home possibly under their house, and I'm dying to know. Could it be a raccoon? Could it be a squirrel? Could it be a very small midget? What could be living back there?
Baby gator?
I don't know. You got a question for Brooke. What say you, Robert?
I was calling about the power grid thing. I was wondering, what are the insurance costs per month on such a big field like that?
Oh, that's a good question. Let's talk about the expense side. So you build a 5-acre array or a 2-acre, whatever we're talking about. Yeah, what are the ongoing costs to, I don't even know this. Like, once a year, do you have to clean solar panels? Do you have to hire someone to clean all this acreage? What is the general maintenance? I mean, give us an idea, Brooke.
Yeah, absolutely. So as far as insurance premiums go, it depends on if your insurance company wants to cover this or not. Sometimes they'll be reasonable and say, here's what your premium cost is going to be, and it's $10,000 per acre, or they could say it's $1 million. If your insurance company offers you something ridiculous, we actually take on that liability in-house. It's just a separate agreement that you have that we...
So you become the insurance company.
Exactly. Yep. As far as maintenance go, when we build the solar field, we make sure that the ground cover is going to be low so that we're not having prairie grass that's going to cover it. So the mowing goes away.
Yep.
And then as far as maintenance go, I mean, solar panels really don't require a lot. Your inverter is going to go out every 10 to 15 years, and that's pretty much all you're going to have to be replacing for...
So for an extra dollar amount, you can become the insurance company if an insurance company won't cover it. And this guy, just heard him say, Robert, while we were talking, so if you became the insurance company, I mean, really the main coverage would be hail. I mean, the main catastrophic coverage would be hail, or how does that work?
Yeah, exactly.
Hail or tornado?
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah. How about a tornado? How would you possibly cover that through Red Rocks if a tornado came down and ripped up all those units?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely depends on where you're installing as to what the criteria are. But typically for these projects, I mean, the solar system itself isn't that big or weigh that much or any of those things. That is above ground. But below ground, we're talking about 8 to 12 feet down, 2 to 3 feet wide, holes full of concrete that are cementing them into it. So your wind loads that this can handle is 175 mile an hour.
Oh my God.
So that's pretty, I mean, that's way more than a category 5 hurricane. So a tornado really isn't going to impact it. Hail you're definitely going to have. So you have to maybe replace some panels throughout the years, depending again on where you install. But we can definitely take on that.
Do the manufacturers of panels for an application like what we're talking about, do they actually have a hail guarantee or no? They don't.
Yeah, so Mission Panels, which is what we use, they have on their spec sheet the mile per hour and the size of the hail that they are warranted for. So if the hail is less than that and it damages the panel, then it's covered under their warranty.
So then the manufacturer covers it. Do you know what that is offhand?
It's 25 meters per second, and the size is 1 inch.
So 1 inch. Yeah, okay. So a baseball's going to break these, no doubt.
Again, it kind of just depends on the angle
I
it hits.
keep forgetting they're on such an angle, too, when they hit it. It's not like they're hitting it head on.
Yeah.
What else, Robert? Those were great questions, though.
Well, I heard what you said about getting the dragon kick to the face, and I've seen Michael Brown, and you don't want anything to do with that.
That's pretty good, man. Hey, I appreciate the call, Robert. I'll tell you, there's people listening, Brooke, going, man, I got to look into this. And you can talk to her about any project. RedRocksRS.com. Hold on. And we'll hit you pretty hard next hour, Paul.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm glad that you're in the studio because we literally were talking about water filtration.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's
Why
so
were
funny
we
how that all
talking? I
works
missed
out.
that. Why were we talking about water filtration?
No, her and her husband were talking about water filtration.
Oh, got it.
Because in where we're at in Denver, we get like things mailed to us because they know the pipes are lead.
Yeah.
So they're like ripping
wait
it out
till you
and
hear what
replacing
I'm
it.
reading
They don't
about
know
Denver
what.
coming up.
Oh, great.
No, it's crazy, and it's all public knowledge. It's not like conspiracy theory shit.
Right.
So when the EPA...
Hold on a sec. You know, you just heard me talking to the two owners, Henry Bretts, Jay Bretts. Excel Roofing's a great company. In fact, I dare you to find an unhappy customer. They've been doing it forever, one of the largest in the country, or I'm sorry, one of the largest in the state. And really, you don't pay a cent to your content. There's not many contractors that would ever say that. It's not pay as you go or pay up front. It's you don't pay a cent to your content. They have hail-proof roofs. That's what I bought from them. When I had hail damage, I upgraded. I'll never pay a deductible again. They put on a product on my house that looks like slate. It's beautiful, but it's this very thick composite plastic, for lack of the better words. And I have seen my neighbors get nailed and everybody get nailed. I don't have 1 ounce of damage in the last 5 years. I put it on 5 years ago. The warranty's great. They're great people to work with. I promise you, if you want the best roofer, excelroofing.com, excelroofing.com. By the way, they got a gutter cleaning special. I hope they don't get mad at me for saying this, but I'm going to go ahead and throw this in. $99. They come out twice a year and clean mine. It's usually like $400. Now, $99. They'll come out. They send a whole crew out, and they do a bang-up job. I live by a bunch of needles and trees, and they come out. 4 or 5 guys get up there fully insured, clean out the gutters, put hoses down the downspouts, clean them out. It's impeccable. $99 because they want to keep their guys busy right now. excelroofing.com. Fix it 24/7. Another great deal. $49. These guys will come out and clean your sump pump. They're going to tear it apart, make sure it works. They're going to clean it, put it all back together. And if you have not checked your sump pump in years, you're crazy. If that thing gets a lot of water in it and it's not doing it properly, or maybe the line has some kind of a blockage in it, anything like that, your basement could end up flooded and it could cost you a fortune. You got to check it out. $49. Go to fixmyhome.com. Call them up. Get it set. Tell them you heard it here. Fixmyhome.com. I'm going to tell you about another contractor I absolutely love. That is Mitch Floria, The Art of Granite. You want the most beautiful new countertops. you call up Mitch. You're not going to get a better deal. You're not going to get a better owner and a better company. They do not charge, listen to this, for the actual material. You get it at a wholesale price like they get it. They charge for the fabrication and installation. And right now, if you get the kitchen done, they'll do the bathroom for free. If you get the kitchen done right now, they'll do the bathroom for free. Please give Mitch a call. You're going to love this guy. The THE, theartofgranite.com, theartofgranite.com. I assume I have zero time.
It's a lot of ad pushing.
So, when the EPA, when I was doing research, Mark, and when the EPA basically doesn't regulate certain contaminants, and they're unregulated contaminants, what's scary then is that means that there's a whole list, I'm concerned about hormones.
Oh, sure.
I'm concerned about, puberty blockers, right? And then those drugs, Mark, can pass into your body through the microplastics.
That's nice. You get a buzz and you don't know why.
That's right.
Yeah. Free buzz.
And so, they don't...
Free buzz.
Hey, I'm feeling pretty good today.
I'm going to have
All I've had is 4 glasses of water.
So,
I'd go for it.
So think about this. Our bodies match their Earth. So whatever it's contaminated with, so are we.
Yeah. I'm doing... hold on. Here it is.
So do you get a lot of calls with, solar companies that hire these sales reps? They don't pay them, right, until after it gets installed, so I don't know how they get money up front. But what was that company that was out on I-25 there, just after the Park Road entrance there, on the 470, excuse me? It's no longer there.
Sunrun?
Sunrun.
Yeah.
Sunrun pulled out of Colorado.
Yeah.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, it's really hard to install in Colorado. So
I hate Sunrun.
You mean because of permitting or because of what?
Yeah. So
Okay.
if you've got a nationwide crew and you're paying guys from Georgia, $10 because they're from Georgia, their
Got it.
minimum wage is less than up here.
And in Colorado, it doesn't work that way.
You have wind load, you got snow load, it's really hard to permit. There's multiple reasons why it's just easier for nationwide companies to go to like North Carolina or Illinois or someplace else that has different benefits for them.
So all those customers that bought from them and then they're gone out of business, then you can step in and help them out.
Exactly. Yep, I love doing service case work.
Yeah, you must be busy, Brooke.
All right, last question. What about this news story I saw that said the Chinese hid communication devices in solar panels? Have you seen that?
Sounds like Dimitri.
It wouldn't surprise me, but because of all the domestic content laws that came into place for commercial projects a couple years ago, I don't buy anything that's not made in the States. I can't, because nobody can, like the tax credits we're talking about, those go from 60% of the project to 6% of the project. So if I did that, I would get...
Suzanne, see if Savvy's blocked.
By all my folks.
So those people...
I think like a week or two ago, I went to put her in timeout for 10 seconds, and I might have hit the wrong button, but I just can't look right now. But I would never put her there on purpose. Well, you know what I mean. Maybe I would. Fuck it.
Going after people for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a ton of stuff going on because people just do whatever they're like, oh, this is what I can get now, so I'm going to install it. Nobody's going to know the difference. Well, everything's tracked by, who you buy it from, manufacturer. You can tell exactly where it got built and who did it and where. There's a lot going on.
So why are the computers, Mark, slower than the clock in the wall?
Say that again.
The computer here says 12:49 and it's 12:58.
Another hour coming up.
Somebody maybe just changed it. You can update it.
Okay, now I'm sorry, Paul. I had to do that. What is it now?
Another hour.
No, I just noticed that the computer, this computer here is like 8 minutes behind.
Oh, God, who knows? I've walked in here and that clock is 4 hours off.
Hey, at least the monitor.
Or even worse, I'll walk in and that clock is 4 hours, 18 minutes off.
Paul, at least the monitor's working.
Right? Well, this is a new monitor since I've been here. This is a new desk, I think, too, set up.
Mark, I want to talk about Jurassic HVAC in the next hour.
You got it.
What's going on with them?
Do you know they're a bad company?
Oh, okay.
Well, your opinion is they're a bad company.
Okay, yes, my opinion. And the caller's opinion.
Perfect.
And 9 News' opinion.
Ooh. Okay.
Yes,
And they're an HVAC company?
Have you heard of them, Brooke? Mm-mm. They charge $5,600 to install a gas valve. And
what?
And then I heard on 9 News, they took deposits for water. They took deposits for water heater installs and never did the job. So I just want to give a warning out to them. Lady called in yesterday.
Wow. That's horrible.
And I know we don't regulate what things people charge for things, but that's just a little.
Can't believe
Back in the day, I charged $380 for a gas valve install.
Yeah, that's pretty insane.
Yes, in my opinion.
Okay. Memorial Day. I got 2 things I got to do tonight. Damn it.
What are you doing? We're coming over.
Well, I got more. I got 3 commercials I got to get done. And then I've got to get the best of done for Monday. That takes me usually I can cut it up in a half hour. And then I have to put in my orders for next, or make sure I think Suzanne knocked that out. So I got 2 things I have to do tonight.
What takes you an hour? Joe Pianos? That's what I call him, Joe Piano. I mean, Keanu.
Joe Keanu.
Can you do that stuff at your home studio, Mark?
I do all my commercials.
Oh, that's good. At least you're not sick.
If I have to do one really quick and have to have it, and it's on the live log, I'll tell them to send it to me, and I'll make sure I get about 34 seconds, and then I can take it home and cut 4 seconds out of it.
Wow.
Are you going out of town? Are you staying in for the weekend?
No, we're going to be in. Trying to think what we got. My mom's here till Sunday, so we're not going anywhere. My dad leaves today. And then,
has your dad had enough of you, Mark?
No.
That's that why you're getting him home early?
No. Well, probably. The answer is probably, but no, they were both here for exactly 1 week, and then my mom called up pretty last minute, and I think she wanted to play bridge with some old friends. They used to live here 10, 15 years ago.
Oh.
So she was going to do something like that, and she extended hers.
But you're taking your dad to the airport today?
Dude, I am hauling ass out of here. The second that music plays. Kelly, if you can hear me, I have got to haul ass second the show's over.
Man, I almost got here and didn't find any parking out in front. I wasn't sure what to do.
Really?
You can park in the back.
Yeah.
I know that.
Oh, yeah, you can park in the
I've
back.
always parked in the back.
A lot of times you might have to walk
I need to
around
exercise.
to the front door.
Get those steps in, huh?
Yeah, I'm not getting anything here for 4 hours.
I don't think
I
we
like-
had a day less than 16,000 steps when we were in San Diego. We were moving.
So my son he came home one day and I was bragging about my whoop. It was like 1 p.m. and I was like, I already did my 10,000 steps because Suzanne and I walked 3 miles and then we just had other shit to do.
Yeah.
So I'm bragging about it. Remember, he's home from lunch and he pulls up his Apple Watch. He was at 40,000 steps at lunch. Yeah, he'll do between 30 to 60,000 steps at Walmart every day.
I can
Walking
see
up.
that.
That's all he does.
I can see that.
Literally, all he does is walk around. That's his job.
He doesn't-
Making sure everybody's doing their job.
He doesn't.
Now, there is some store managers that do nothing but sit in the office,
Sit in the office.
but they're getting weeded out so fast, it's crazy.
Well, that's why he's the second youngest
Yeah.
to do it. I mean, you
That's a
deserve
lot of
it,
Produce
right?
there too?
What's that?
Do they have produce as well as merchandise?
Yeah, dude.
Oh, yeah. It says a super. Well, it's a small super Walmart, but it's super Walmart.
Well, if it's in Nebraska, there's probably not a lot near
It's
it
probably
either, right?
busy.
His where he's store lead. So Walmart goes store manager, store lead. So the only person that's been over him for a long time is a store manager. So he's always had 300 to 400 employees all the time. But that store is in Norfolk. It does like 150 million a year.
Yeah.
That store does serious because they pull from all these other towns. He was one. He was helping out. They fired or they got rid of or he retired, whatever, a store manager in South Dakota, and that was one of the top 5 stores in the country.
Wow.
200 million
You wouldn't think
a month.
What do they buy in South Dakota?
Well, they just don't have any other options.
Well, they come from everywhere.
Yeah, that's
He
like
calls
where I'm
them-
from in Iowa. Like, you've got one place within 45 minutes to go.
He calls them basket shoppers.
The east side of the
Basket
state?
shop.
Are you
Yeah,
familiar with Iowa?
no one ever runs in and buys like
What part?
5 things. They fill up the baskets
Yeah,
because they're driving a long way.
My family lives in Geneseo still.
Geneseo?
Yeah.
Really?
And then Aaron's family's up in Dyersville, Iowa. And then I went to school at Ambrose in
They are
Davenport.
so great to their employees.
Look at that. Small world.
I know.
We
I
were
used
just
to-
meant to meet.
I used to go to Clinton all the time with a kid and dentist.
Yeah.
Yeah, across the river.
Yeah, we do that.
You look
That's how we
good,
get
man.
back.
Thank you.
Yeah, you do.
Thank you very much.
If you lost weight or
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Me too, man. Yeah, you look good.
I appreciate that.
You look not just lighter, you look healthy.
Thank you. You know, one of the things that, to be very candid with you, I decided is to let things roll off your back.
Oh my God, holding on to stress. I wish I could do that better.
I'm telling you,
But you can't, Mark.
I mean,
I'm not good at it.
there's nothing you can do. I mean, seriously, to change it. It is, and so it's just once I've learned that.
Yeah, things eat at me, and that's something I got to learn, Paul.
To win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Green. That's green. Enter it now at khow.com. Keep listening to win on 630 KHOW.
Ripped off, bad news. You need advice so you don't have to lose. We'll come running just as fast as we can. Troubleshooter's gonna help the common man.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
All right, 303-713-8255. Welcome to the show, the only show of its kind. We're here to solve problems, answer questions, take complaints. By the way, if you go to YouTube, you should really check us out behind the scenes. We do have a show within the show, but our entire goal is to help you. If you've been ripped off, bad contractor, you need help with a landlord, we have a list of attorneys that always come on and give free legal advice at referrallist.com. We got great contractors. Today, we've been learning a lot about solar, and we'll have some more questions for Brooke White, but I want to go to Paul Dowding. He is the man when it comes to water. I think I said it first hour. He might not be fun at parties because he lives and breathes dirty water is really what it comes down to. Or clean water. I guess it depends how you're looking at it, Paul. But I looked something up the other day I wanted to talk to you about. We talk about PFAS all the time. We also talk about different places in the country that have horrible water. What was the one again that all the people got sick, some got cancer?
Flint, Michigan.
Flint, Michigan. Horrible one. Make sure your mic's on. I think it is. But I wanted to look up Colorado. So we talked about Rocky Ford. And Rocky Ford has more radium contamination in their water than any other place in the country. Think about that. That is insane. The other thing, parts of North Denver, South Adams County, and Commerce City have what they refer to as legacy water contamination, including PFAS. And then there's smaller communities. Now, I've never heard of this. Apparently, it was on the news at one point, but the community's called Elephant Rock Mobile Home Park. And they have issues so bad, the federal government had to step in and do some form of enforcement. In fact, the same way with part of Adams County. What eventually happens if let's take Parker Water? Is that where Castle Rock gets their water?
Castle Rock is their own as Douglas County.
It's Douglas County,
right? So Castle Rock has their own municipal supply. Parker Water has their own.
What you said about Castle Rock first hour was crazy, though.
35% reusable water, and they're going to add 60,000 people by next year. We just saw in the news they want to add another 800 homes. It's the same water source,
and it's the same thing.
So what these guys are thinking about is what's reusable water. It's a no-brainer to them. But what they don't think about is the concentration level of all these contaminants that's not being removed.
How do you test for certain things? Like, do you have certain test kits? Water softness, of course, is easy to test for, but like someone that has, if I just moved to Rocky Ford or moved to some of these local places, Adams County, it's like, what do you do to test your water?
You want to take it to Colorado Analytical. So the state of Colorado, just so you know, the lab techs that tested for water fudged water test resorts. The EPA shut them down. So
they literally lied about it.
They lied about it. The EPA closed them down. So you have to take your water sample to Colorado Analytical, and then request basically a high-profile water sample
and see what's in it.
See what's in it.
It's scary what's in water, and the coolest part is, I mean, some of the systems out there can pretty much get rid of all of it.
You can pretty much get rid of 99.99% of it.
It's like Lysol. It kills 99.99.
You never want to say 100%. I mean, because that's irresponsible. Nothing's 100%. But if you do, so what I have in my house is the matrix water, and I have the reverse osmosis. I have a UV because of, did you realize that chlorination doesn't kill bacteria? It only sterilizes it.
Oh, so it makes the bacteria safe?
There you go. That's the theory. So I use the UV. I do a lot of nasal rinses. And so there's something that's pretty scary. In Florida and Texas, brain-eating amoebas got through municipal water supply. People used the Nevipod.
Oh, someone got a brain thing and died.
Yes.
What was it? They were like, they went into a coma and literally died from the water.
Right. So I have the UV. Because I want that.
Yeah, I'd say for most people, though, I think that's overboard. I know you don't agree with that statement.
But so here's the thing to chew the bubble gum on, as I like to say. With the quality of water today, is anything overboard? Because you really don't know what's in it.
Well, that's the problem. Then when you find out, like you were saying about Colorado's, literally they lied. And they were lying to the EPA.
That's right.
And then by the time they find out, those people, was that from some of the mining stuff? Was that the one you're talking about?
It was all over the state. It was large and small municipalities. And the reason why the EPA came in that day to do an audit, and that's when they said, oh, well, they told the truth.
Well, what was their excuse for lying or reporting the bad facts, which is lying?
Why would anybody do that?
I don't know.
Why would that DA or that lab test
Does it come down to budget? Like they didn't have any more budget to treat the water better? Or they simply didn't know how to fix it? I mean, if you really talk about wastewater, like you said in Castle Rock, if 35% of what comes out of the faucet is literally what goes down the toilet.
It's reusable water, absolutely.
I know, reusable but treated, but that's kind of crazy. How about the drug factor? Like, I heard opiates and all this stuff can be right in our water supply.
This is the red flag for me, and this is where this is an unregulated contaminant. So the EPA knows they're there. The EPA can test for it, and they can monitor it, but municipalities aren't required to.
It's 60 Minutes or 2020. One of them was going out years ago and testing, and the amount of drugs in certain areas, like in Denver, were crazy.
This is a fact. Every major over-the-counter medication will test positive in any municipal water supply. It's a fact. So my concern is that the antibiotic resistance that's happening. I'm a big, red flag for hormones in the water. And so this is something that we need to know. How can you have a water quality report being sent to you by law? Your municipality has to send you a report.
I didn't know that. How, like once a year or what?
Once a year. It's called a water quality report, so you can make your own mind up if you want to use this water or not for drinking and cooking. How can that be, possible if they're not telling the truth on all the contaminants in the water? How can that happen? So if the EPA is going to take 13 years to take one contaminant, so you could call up Mark and say, I want puberty blockers nominated with the EPA to check my water supply.
13 years.
13 years for them to basically add it to the list.
Can you imagine that? You're taking puberty blockers and you don't even...
You don't know it. Anybody, so medication, this is true.
But people would argue, I mean, it's so minute.
There you go. That's a great point, but check this out. The PFAS is 1 part per billion. That's 1 drop in an Olympic swimming pool. So it doesn't take a large number.
That meaning what though? It's 1 part in a swimming pool, meaning what though? That's the limit?
That's the measurement. So they started out at 1 part per billion. So 1 part per billion is the EPA did.
No, but I mean, like,
PFAS.
when was this testing?
So this was done in 2024. The EPA came out and said, okay, we wanted 1 part per billion of PFAS is too much. So to give you an idea what that is, that's 1 drop of contaminant in an Olympic-sized swimming pool.
That's crazy.
Okay, now it went down to 4 part per trillion. So today's standards by the EPA is 0. So it doesn't take a large number to be a contaminant.
But it's in every water system.
That's right, and it's in everybody's body. So the microplastics, the other thing is microplastics.
Well, think about it. It rains.
Yes.
It's groundwater.
Yes.
Grass grows.
Right.
Cows eat it.
That's right.
You eat the cow.
That's right.
You now, nothing to do with your water supply in this case.
Correct.
But just by eating the cow, because the cow was grazing in the field by the water that basically was in the ground, goes back up and comes down again.
See, that's why I said this is a generational issue. This is not going to be fixed tomorrow.
I heard you guys were talking during the break, Brooke, on a water system. Do you guys have one at your house, out of curiosity?
We just have one that you like connect under the sink, like a minor one, I would say.
Like you buy at Home Depot or Amazon?
Yeah, exactly.
Paul, what about this? And then I'll even go a step further. How about your refrigerator? Do you get water from it?
No.
She said it like her. Hell no.
Our fridge is not that cool.
So our fridge has one. So, I mean, we got a water system, granted. I don't know if it matters. Okay, our RV. Our RV's got the refrigerator inside. It almost looks like an oil filter.
That's right.
So how good are those things?
It's a taste and odor filter and hard water. If you went and camped out at a hard water site, that filter would basically get overrun by hardness, and that's where you see any debris in the water receptacle or the ice maker receptacle. That's calcium overtaking the filter.
That's crazy. So let's get to this real quick. And Leanna's got a problem with a vet clinic. I promise, Leanna, I'll get to you after this break that I'm going to be forced to take. But waterpost.net, Paul really lives and breathes it. They don't come out and try to sell you something you don't need. He knows the area. He can show you exactly what your water's like by pulling some of these reports. And most of them acknowledge where it's at. But just get out there, protect the family. And his systems, honestly, Paul, well, I like you personally a lot. And I love the system you sold us, but one of your biggest selling points to me is purely the price. I don't care. I called other people right on our referral list. I was quoted for a system that basically does everything. Everything from $4,000 up to $15,000.
Right.
And that was 2 years ago. I assume everything's a little higher now. But you have that new system now that does the whole house softener. It does the chlorine. It takes care of chlorine.
It takes care of lead. It takes care of the PFAS. Takes care of the hardness.
Radium or...
Yes.
It takes care of everything. Basically, it's an all-one system.
Right.
And the price of this thing is just crazy. And I don't mean crazy bad. I mean, I dare you to call up Culligan or anybody out there and say, I want a system, a whole house that does this. You're going to hear $10,000, maybe even up to $20,000. This system is $3,600.
$3,695 installed
by licensed plumbers, which you of course are.
That's right, $3,695.
What kind of warranties on something like that?
So the manufacturer gives you a limited lifetime warranty, and so that's on the control valve, right? And the holding tank. The media will have a lifespan of easily 10 to 12 years.
So in 10 or 12 years, you redo that part.
Redo the top container.
But then the PFAS are out of your house, well, except for what you eat, but it's out of your water at least.
Right.
And then chlorine.
The total chlorine, so they use a chloramine.
Now, how about we were talking about drugs and stuff real quick?
You need the point of use reverse osmosis for that.
That's what gets rid of that.
Yeah.
And that would only be, for example, at the kitchen sink.
Kitchen sink and possibly the ice line.
And what do those start at? $1,000-ish?
Right now we're at $1,100
nice.
for the RO system.
All right, check the best pricing out there, and this guy could go out. He can even do a free test for you, but check him out, waterpros.net, or give him a call, 303-862-5554, 303-862-5554. 54. Leanna, hold on. And Deputy Dimitri has an update. He is over at a caller's house that called in this morning where they have something living in a hole next to their house, and they needed help fixing a shower door. Deputy D, hold tight.
He's already out there.
So what I miss from being back home from here is my tomatoes used to grow like weeds.
Oh, yeah.
Tomatoes.
For sure.
Iowa tomatoes.
Yeah,
You can't grow anything here.
Why is that, the water?
Corn.
No.
No.
It has to be the elevation. John Wayne said it. My favorite movie, McClintock, right? John Wayne said it best. Even the government, you can't farm right at 6,000 feet above sea level. That's where we're at, basically.
Yeah.
Talking about water, zero res. Listen to this. They call it ZR water. High alkaline, super soft, purified water. And by the way, that's what they use to clean carpets. And that is one of the best cleaning agents in nature. It's safe for kids, safe for pets. It removes dirt, dust, dander, and it doesn't leave any dirt-attracting residue. When they leave our house, our carpets are clean. Here's another thing I noticed. I've had carpets cleaned in the past by other companies, and 4 or 5 days later, you thought everything was perfect, but 4 or 5 days later, some of that wicking action takes a hold of the padding, and it soaks back up or wicks back up, and that stain is back that you thought they got rid of. Well, zero res will come back out if that happens and redo it. But the way they clean with their great equipment and that ZR water, they don't need to do it. And then here's the kicker. They got a deal right now that's just nuts. You can get 3 rooms starting at $119 or 3 areas for $119. You can also take off $75 on air duct cleaning if you want to have them do that at the same time. They do tile and grout and granite and mattress cleaning, upholstery, area rug cleaning, of course that duct cleaning, and they also do commercial services. These guys are wonderful. Please check them out at zeroresdenver.com. Mention the 3 areas for $119, zeroresdenver.com or 303-471-5150.
How long you been out here?
Gosh, forever now.
Yeah.
Yeah, 35 years.
Or 31.
Yeah.
Almost 32.
The last thing, see, I always thought of myself as, I'm, part-time or but when you've been here this long, you're basically a full-fledged.
You're pretty damn close.
Native. The last time I was home, I remember was the Bulls.
Where is home?
Sterling, Illinois. Sterling Rock Falls was the Bulls 72-10 season.
Wow, that's a long time ago.
That's a long time ago. That was an event back then. Every game was an event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are your folks still out there?
My folks came to Colorado.
Are you?
Yeah. And so
You guys came out together. The family came out.
I was in the military in Germany, and then I went to Colorado.
What were you in?
I was in the Signal Corps.
Oh.
Froze my butt off in the mountain during the Gulf War where we had that communication. I think there was Mount Steinkopf. I'm not pronouncing it properly, but we were in a mountain, freezing, doing the communication from the desert to us, and we went from the desert to Turkey to us to Frankfurt. So we had those basically mobile
radios and microwave.
Yeah.
Maybe you could teach some of the engineers here at iHeart.
Well, I'm telling you, we just. It was so cold that we couldn't drive into ground stakes for the radio.
See, the Gulf, wasn't that down in this Gulf War in Saudi?
Yeah, that's what
you wouldn't think that'd be cold. It'd be like
no,
camels.
The Gulf, I wasn't in it. So so the radio communication went from the desert to Turkey to Germany to Frankfurt.
Oh.
So I had to have my radio equipment in the mountain in Germany.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
So I was part of the relay.
Free didn't give you heavy enough coats, huh, Paul?
No, they did. So we had the tent nice and warm. We used diesel fuel back then, right? It was so nice and warm. We keep outside our sleeping bag, and some E-stick, stupid, ignorant person decides to come in and turns it off while we're sleeping. Yeah. So I woke up so cold. right? I mean,
Turned it off while you were sleeping?
yes, I was like so cold, and then you dive into your sleeping bag.
And trying to shake it off, right?
Ever since then, I have these paralyzing chills where if I get a certain chill, right?
It's like muscle memory.
I can't move. I'm just like, I can't. It's so cold that I'm like stiff.
Oh my God. That's crazy.
What do you think of this Biden having cancer for probably the last 4 years and no one telling anybody? It's the craziest shit I've ever heard.
Inform us.
We're going to find out that doctor knew it at some point.
Yeah, there's going to be so much. I'm telling you, I think every single legislation that was signed with the auto pen or any executive,
They know who George Clooney
You know,
was.
Trump said he didn't really think Biden, in hindsight, wanted to open borders.
They took advantage of him,
which is crazy.
Yeah, he was a zombie president.
Who's running the country?
That's what they got to find out.
And it wasn't the cabinet because the aides kept the Biden away from the cabinet members.
Yeah,
maybe Jill.
Harris had to know about it. She had to know.
Oh, of course.
That's what sunk her campaign. She said, "Oh, he's a great guy. I mean, he's a cognizant."
She wouldn't have done nothing because
My favorite is just how we can't believe our lying eyes. It's like if you saw that debate, the fucking guy couldn't have said his ABCs. I mean, it was remarkable.
And he has his fingers on the damn nuclear.
The fact they had the guts to put him out there is insane.
That took guts.
Yeah.
Did local fiduciary advisors, TrajanWealth.com. Denver's talk station, 630 KHOW.
All right, 303-713-8255. Don't forget that number works on and off the air. 303 Martino. Any help you need, please help at Troubleshooter.com. We help 24/7. Once again, 303 Martino and help at Troubleshooter.com. Please feel free to reach out. Now, Deputy Dimitri went over to a caller from this morning. She called in and said, hey, who should I call? What kind of handyman? Because our shower knob to her, I guess their shower door kept falling off and they'd have to put it back on. They're both in their 80s. She's blind. I'm not sure about the husband. But hey, Deputy D, the other thing they said is apparently some vermin or some critter was digging a hole and living under the house. Tell us what you found.
Well, Mark, it was pretty easy. So the doorknob in the glass shower door, it's like a U-shaped handle on either side of the glass with two holes, and there's a mounting stud that's through the holes, and both of the set screws that hold the door handle to the mounting stub were loose.
Oh.
So I tightened up the two set screws, and it'll probably hold because they kind of bite into a rubbery stud.
I got you.
And I told them that if it doesn't hold, I got it as tight as I could. And
I bet it's good. I bet it's good.
Yeah, and I gave them my business card, and I said, next time it comes loose, call me, and I'll bring over some Loctite.
Now tell me what's stirring. What's stirring in their backyard? Did you catch it? Can you cook it?
It was I got a chupacabra for free out of it. And I'm going to bring it back to the studio tomorrow.
What is it?
No,
Oh my God! I'm like, don't bring it here. Whatever. What the hell's a chupacabra? Isn't that from Star Wars?
It's like a Tasmanian devil that I found under the house.
That'd be pretty cool.
But no, so I did see there's a little cubby hole that some little critter dug next to their foundation of their house.
Yeah.
But it's a concrete foundation. So, and it looked like it was just a little cubby hole for some critter to take a nap
so it couldn't even get in the house.
No. And just to make sure, I did go into the basement, and I took the access panel off their crawl space, and I looked in there, and it's pitch black in the crawl space, so I would have seen daylight shining through.
Yeah, somewhere.
And the animal somehow chewed into the side of the house.
Is it a nice couple, Dimitri?
Yeah, very nice couple, just very, very sweet. And they're kind of like in their mid to late 80s, I would say. They've been in this house for 4 decades.
You know, we talk about recovering money and stuff, but I mean, think about this. Because of the show and Dimitri today, going out, they've been struggling with that door handle on their shower in their 80s, and they were worried that maybe something was breaking into their house. Now, what I might have done is got a hose and put it in that hole and just turned it on.
Build up the...
No! It's not a hole. There's like nothing
Dimitri
dug
is one
into the
step
ground.
away from being PETA. Just one step away. He's not literally PETA, but if you even talk about like a squirrel coming to their demise, the guy goes crazy.
Yeah, well, it's very upsetting to hear about little critters losing their lives prematurely.
Yeah.
But in this case, they have nothing to worry about critter infiltration.
Rock and roll, baby.
They have my business card, so they'll call me if that handle comes loose again.
Deputy D, we appreciate it. We'll see you hopefully in studio tomorrow. Thank you very much on behalf of everybody.
Good job, D.
Yeah, wish them well. Leanna, what is going on with this vet clinic? Leanna? Let's do this. Let's get her back up. I think she didn't realize I was going to go to her so quick. But I want to know what's going on with this vet clinic. I got a story I'll tell, too, about a vet clinic Suzanne and I went to not even a month or two ago, and it cost over $2,000. Hold on.
But Nico's worth it.
What's that?
Nico's worth it.
Is that the name of
Your
your
dog, Nico?
Our German Shepherd.
He's a sweetheart.
What'd you get?
Oh, it's a mutt. They said half husky, half mastiff.
Nice.
Maybe.
That's a big one.
We'll see.
Huskies are
How old is it?
Very emotional.
She's only 4 months.
Oh, okay.
She doesn't look husky at all. The rest of her litter mates looked a lot more husky.
Was it English Mastiff or Bull Mastiff?
No idea. Just a farmer dropped him off. Said he
A
couldn't
farmer?
take care of him. That's the story I got.
Dropped him off at your house. There you go.
Yeah.
That's the story at least. It actually ate 4 children.
Yeah.
It was one of, who was the
Dropped it.
football player, Vic? It was one of Vic's fight dogs.
I'll show you a picture of my husky we adopted last year from the dump friends.
You know, I can't say enough about John Fuller. John Fuller is one of the best personal injury attorneys you're ever going to meet. And if you ever do hire or have any questions and talk to John, what you're going to find out is he knows all about an accident. He knows how to maximize them. And you know what? People might say ambulance chaser and some of these words, but a good personal injury attorney does. They never chase ambulances, don't get me wrong there, but they do maximize a case. I mean, that's it. Someone made your life not good, and you want everything you can possibly get from them. And John did exactly that for us 2 times. 2 different times he got policy limits from the people that hit us. One was a lady yelling at her kids in the back seat when there was a red light and she T-boned us. Suzanne had a broken nose. We missed days of work. If you end up in the hospital, if you end up in the ER, you need to call John Fuller. You have to. And you're going to deal with John. He's going to give you a cell phone number. He's got a great staff. But when you want to talk to John, he is there to talk to you. 303-597-4500. Please do me a favor. Put that number in your phone, because when you are in an accident, take it from me, it's crazy. Next thing you know, you're in the ER and you're kind of getting settled and hopefully you're ready to go home and you're like, now what? Well, you're going to have that in your phone. 303-597-4500. John Fuller, 303-597-4500. Double amputee toddler.
Do you have a picture of your dog there, Brooke?
I rescued this.
Oh, yeah, I can grab her. Sorry.
Oh, wow. Paul, it looks just like mine.
Yeah, they said he was running loose.
You guys got the same eyes as my dog. Where did you get him?
Amarillo, Husky Rescue Fund,
I'm going to send that to him. I'm trying to find a picture of our dog. My kids only take hundreds of pictures of him, and I can't find one.
Huskies are so emotional, yet so smart.
Yeah.
Mine's a scaredy cat. He doesn't like me, but he loves the kids.
I used...
oh, that's funny.
What happened to the vet person?
They always have their...
Kelly? What happened to the vet?
God, that dog looks just like mine again.
Can you not hear me?
Yes.
Oh, what happened to the vet?
I don't know.
Why did she? I thought it was an outbound because you, because of the line she was on.
So she called a
There he is, his ears
weeks
are
ago.
back because he's scared of me. 'cause
I'm
I
trying
grabbed
to look
his
through
paw.
my notes right now.
Yeah, see if you can get her.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal. It is what it is.
Look at that paw, just like your dog.
Exactly, just like.
I remember calling her.
Not that big. I don't.
Looks like my brother-in-law's dog.
We got her from Max Funds. She doesn't
Oh.
shed.
My first Doberman, Dobie.
That's a great name. I
dog
love
looks
that.
just like
Dobie
your
the
dog.
Doberman.
Yep, he was 100. He was 100 pounds, lived to about 12, and I got him from the Max Fund. They were having an event at the Embassy Suites. This was like 1990.
See, we rescued
Five.
He's a.
That's a cute one. It does not look like a husky though.
No, not at all. And
Yeah, it doesn't.
She was one of 8 pups.
It's gonna be
All
a
of them
big
got like relinquished or whatever you want to say. And she's the only one that looks like that. The rest of them look very husky. I can't. Good for you guys handling the hair. I can't handle that shed factor.
I go through a vacuum bag every month. And
Our German Shepherd sheds
Yeah,
like
the hair is
crazy.
crazy.
The Aussie barely
Oh, the
sheds.
hair.
I mean, I used to change a vacuum bag once every 8 months. Now it's like
I use
every
a
month.
Dyson just because of that.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Oh, the pet thing?
Yeah.
I use a Dyson
I had a
knockoff.
husky before, and so every day we would brush her with that attachment. Yep, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
A Dyson makes it like a de-shedder.
So, yeah, you like, it connects to the vacuum, this brush. So as you
Eliana, this
vacuum,
is
it
Kelly
goes
from the
straight
Tom
to
Martino
vacuum.
Troubleshooter Show, and I was just
Yeah,
trying
it's
to get
The little
off.
rechargeable
We
Dyson.
called that.
Highly
Well, you
recommend.
gotta send me
And I think
I need that.
It's
so. If you want to
seriously,
get
My
my
dog
call
says
back,
it's-
303
sometimes I
Martino,
want to have people
which is
over.
303-627.
Well, huskies are like that way. You gotta. I take mine to a groomer because he,
Oh, that's what I need to do.
Help
They
with
say a
that
groomer
background.
has a special
Okay,
vacuum
thanks so
that
much.
can de-shed them or something like that.
So it's that little attachment, this guy right here. And you just plug it onto the hose.
Really?
Yep, and it goes right into it. And it's quick.
I'm gonna give you my hair. Can you send that to my cell phone?
I think, yeah, of course. Here, just tell me it.
Okay, 720-633-3000. That'd be good to have your number because I want to talk to you about.
720-633-3000?
Yep. I'd like to talk to you next week about those tax credits.
Yeah. Tom officially has not bought them yet.
I know, he was just blowing
so
hot air.
He's got a lot of shit going.
Yeah.
I know he
that's-
does.
Okay,
I'm glad he hasn't bought them yet.
this is my husky at the groomer.
Oh my God.
Let me see.
I was just.
Let me see it.
Yeah.
Okay. Dude, you got to send me that picture too.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. For real?
See my hair from here.
That's fake.
That was big
That's
grooming.
real.
Holy crap.
That's just the first
You
wave.
could sew like 2 sweaters.
Yeah, you could. That's the first wave.
Was that like at the PetSmart? They called it de-grooming?
No, it's
3-761-6400.
303-713-8255, 303 Martino. Brick White, Red Rocks RS. I got so many emails basically saying it sounds too good to be true. You get a commercial system and it's over 100% paid for, meaning you even put some tax credits and grant money into your pocket. But man, how many of these have you done?
Like,
How many commercial systems, solar systems have you done in, let's say, I don't know, 5 years, where 90 to 120% of them were paid for with grant money or tax credits?
most of my commercial projects have been in that stage.
So almost all of them.
Yeah, and the thing that I would
How
always
long does
recommend...
like a big array take from start to finish? A year?
No, it's going to take 2 years just to install.
2 years.
Some of these solar field projects.
These
yeah.
2, 3, 5
But
acre.
The projects of these size are always looked at by attorneys that specialize in this.
Yep.
And so absolutely make sure you have the right folks that you call to look through the contracts and get all of those details. Absolutely. Because, you know, this is a lot of money to risk.
How about a typical house? And I always just say this, a Highlands Ranch house, somewhere in the Meadows in Castle Rock, someone that wants to add solar. What are you talking in general?
Yeah, so for a residential house, you're talking about, you know, $24,000 would be the gross on the project. After the tax credits, it would be just under 17, and it's going to replace about $100,000 worth of electric bills.
Over what period of time? 20 years?
30 years. We do a 30-year warranty on our systems, parts and labor.
How about instantly if they have a loan on the system? So they have a loan out there for $17,000, and then the payments are generally what based upon those numbers?
Usually they're right now, if they're Excel territory, it's about $50 less a month than what they're paying. So if they're paying $100 now a month, it would drop to $50 to pay for the solar, and their Excel bill's gone. If it's core, it's about even because core.
Oh, wait. So you're saying if they're on Excel, literally they save money day one, even with the loan on the solar.
Yeah, usually if you finance the system, you actually save money day one because your payment is less. You're just paying interest and you're spreading it out versus doing cash. You have a higher initial outlay, but your return on investment's a lot quicker.
So how about, do you ever suggest leasing under any scenario or no?
No, because I'm also a roofing company. So your option is to pay more for a system that you're going to buy anyways, or have them repo a system off of your roof and ruin your roof.
So if someone has hail damage and they have a solar system, that's kind of funny. You guys do both. You'll come out, remove the stuff, do the roof or do whatever damage, and then put everything back on.
Yeah, we'll do anything on the project. I mean, if you've got a roofing company that you really love and you just want us to do the solar bit, we would love to do that aspect.
Our insurance company's pretty good when people have solar, like actually paying for that.
Yeah, they have to. Mm-hmm.
Well, I know they have to, but I mean, well, actually, yeah, I guess they do. So if someone put solar on after they had insurance, in other words, you add solar and you don't tell your insurance company, they're still going to pay for the whole.
Nope, you absolutely have to let your insurance company know that you added solar.
You do?
Yep.
Do you have solar on your house?
Oh, yeah.
Is there, it'd be funny if you didn't. It'd be like, hey, Paul, do you have one of those water systems at your house?
Question.
No, haven't had one.
Yeah.
What area would you say is the best for solar, Brooke? In like, say, Metro Denver or in the Front Range? And what I mean by that is, like, my area where I live, we've got 100-foot trees. I mean, it makes zero sense for me to have solar. So we just have too much sun blockage.
Boulder's your best spot because Boulder has grants for residents to do it.
Oh, like what? Like how, if you're in Boulder and you're listening to this show and you don't have solar, let's go back to that $24,000 solar system. Yeah. After tax credits, you're at $17,000. What other incentives does Boulder actually bring to the table?
So Boulder will do a grant project that covers roughly about 30% of that. And then Excel also has a program that will cover 30% of it. So if you're in Boulder, depending on what your demographics are, you could only be out of pocket 10% of that project. So it's $2,400.
Oh, my God.
And the Boulder grant is a check. And the Excel rebate is a check, too. So your tax liability isn't influenced by those things.
Not at all.
Nope.
Wow. So people in Boulder without solar systems.
And your charge Excel rate. So you're replacing a really high utility bill with this system.
Man, that's incredible. Thinking about $2,400 for a solar system if the numbers crunched right.
Yeah.
How does it generally work? If someone's interested, I mean, then go to redrocksrs.com and I'll give your phone number out. But then what? You basically say, okay, we'll send someone out. I mean, do you have to go out to see if solar's right for that property? Like literally like boots on the ground? Or can you just look at some kind of thing on a satellite image and get a good idea of what they're looking at and then type in the tax credits and the grants and explain everything over the phone? How do you guys typically work at Red Rocks?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's more up to what the client's looking for. Some folks really need you to sit down with them in person and have that person-to-person feel.
Is that generally you, or how many people do that part of it for you?
It's only me. I'm the only one that does anything with contracts.
So they deal with you.
Yeah.
I love that.
You're stuck with me, guys.
So you go out, or you can do it over the phone in most cases?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then if you do it mostly over the phone, explain the numbers, then the next step is you go out to the property, I assume.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Absolutely. We'll do documents in order to put everything together for engineering. But let's say when we talk over the phone, I say, this is the project going to be $24,000. These are your incentives, blah, blah, blah. I get out there. I find out that you need to do a main panel upgrade. Well, I've already agreed to what we were going to do it. So we'll do that main panel upgrade complimentary to you just to get the system going. The only thing that we won't do as a change order that would require it is a brand new roof.
That's crazy. Barbecue Bob has a question for you. What an interesting name. What's your question, Bob? I'm up against the clock here.
Oh, okay. We've got a fourplex in Golden. Is that too small? We've got a bunch of excess ground we could put something on.
Hold on a second. I'm going to put you on hold so we have time for this afterwards because that's a great question. In your commercials, I use duplex and fourplex all the time, and there's multiple different things he can do, right? I mean, really, it's incredible, Bob. Hold on. 303-713-8255. Help at troubleshooter.com. By the way, Red Rocks Roof and Solar, 303-704-2449, redrocksrs.com. Then, of course, Paul Downing with that special on that water system right now. $3,600, $3,700 all in. No more PFAS. Get rid of the chlorine. Soften the water. It's just the best system under $3,700. Waterpros.net. Everybody hold tight.
What if your dog and my dog are related? Look at that.
Yeah, yeah.
With the eyes?
No, it's beautiful.
Okay.
Huskies are gorgeous creatures. Absolutely.
Well, that's a good thing. And we established the whole connection that the gentleman's name that designed the roof, that's what it was.
This is what the dog groomer looked like. You take
yeah.
I'm gonna run over to
Look at that face.
All right.
Run
Well,
over
give
to
us a call
Mackenzie
back
there,
when
Mark.
everything, when you guys like work with Excel and keep us updated.
Bradley O'Brien, yep, he's a real estate attorney. It doesn't matter if it's commercial or residential, unmarried couples buying a home together. How about financing reviews, contract reviews, leases? He can either look at a lease if you're looking to enter into one, or he can actually create a lease for you. If you're in Colorado for your people, he can do complicated deals, fence issues, adverse possession. The bottom line is this. When it comes to real estate, he is our expert right here on the show, residential and commercial, olslaw.com, olslaw.com. The Art of Granite, Mitch Floria, one of my favorite people. He has done so many rooms in our house. He has done 2 or 3 bathrooms. He's done our laundry room, part of our kitchen, the most beautiful countertops. We've had quartz, granite. He's got it all. And by the way, he does not mark up the slabs. He basically will give you the wholesale price. He charges for the fabrication and the installation. And right now, if you actually get the kitchen done, he'll do the bathroom for free. It's a great time to get it done and keep his people busy. TheArtOfGranite.com. That is TheArtOfGranite.com. My friends over at Become the Banker, one of the best annuity products I have found. A 15% bonus that starts working from day one, and it's basically guaranteed money when you retire. Doesn't matter what the stock market's doing. In fact, when the stock market goes up, you're going to get more money. When the stock market goes down, you don't lose a dime. It ratchets in. You cannot lose money. You cannot lose principal at all. Please check them out at mymoneymyway.com. If you've been thinking of that product, mymoneymyway.com.
And just not remember. Didn't Steve call earlier? Didn't we have
I'm leaving early, Mark.
On?
Bye, Brooke. Nice to see you.
Yeah.
Later, Gator.
I'm going to see Mackenzie.
Oh, nice, man.
Yeah, I think we had him on.
Yeah.
My third visit.
Pretty good.
When I do commercials for him, I'll bring him
I
on.
was passed out. Which, you know.
Later, Gator.
They see me again.
Yeah. No. He was on earlier.
The roof guy?
Yeah. Excel?
This is my dog.
That's funny. He actually looks like a comedian. I can't think of the guy's name.
No. That was, no. That guy's just, yeah.
Man, this went by fast.
I think he's overstayed his welcome.
She usually at some point says, wow, you guys have a lot of stories.
I love all your stories.
It's good when YouTube blames
Hey,
you
trust
for
me, I
having
know
no
I do.
audio, but it's
I do. I
then
love
you
stories.
check it and audio is up.
Well, most of my upbringing, East Coast, Tri-State, Westchester, Pennsylvania. I was born upstate New York, but teenage years, the troublesome years were South Jersey and then Oklahoma, of all places. I lived in Syracuse really little, like 2 or 3 years old.
Lake Ontario used to be, you could go there, but now, all the old cabins are tore down, they put high-end homes and the property taxes, and you can't, it just doesn't make sense.
Oh, really? That's too bad.
Yeah.
We got to move through that barbecue Bob. Just remember, we're talking, I'm going to give you guys about 3 minutes. Cool. So I'm going to really press them for the question.
Yeah.
I wonder why he goes by. I'd love to have him in for some ribs.
I was thinking that, like, I'm texting my husband about food. So when I saw barbecue, I was like, ooh.
Food.
Yeah. There's that spot on, like, First and Santa Fe that we love to go to.
Is it like a hole-in-the-wall kind of thing?
No. It's like part of, like, a space that's there. They have, like, 5 or 6 different retail shops and stuff.
Oh, cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But it's really, really good barbecue. Highly recommend. Like,
I love good barbecue.
Yeah, good barbecue.
We do a rib-off occasionally here. We haven't done one for about a year, but we'll get one going. There's about 4 of us that'll smoke ribs and bring them in. Ooh. And no one knows whose is who, and then we vote on them.
Yeah. There you go. What's Sue's up to today?
She is with my parents at our house. She did have something else, though. I forget what she had going. We've been so crazy for the last 2 months. We had all the floors done. We've had contractors in and out like crazy, and to the point where we couldn't even be in the house for a couple weeks.
Fastest 2 hours in talk radio, aiming to cut through the clutter and wash out the white noise of the mainstream media. The only missing ingredient is you. Join me each day of the work week, starting at 2 here on 630 KHAL.
All right, Barbecue Bob's got a quick question. Barbecue Bob, you got a quadplex, and you were wondering about tax credits and grants on setting up a commercial solar system, right?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead. Tell them how that would work.
Yeah, absolutely. So your quadplex, is it commercial or is it for, like, homes, like for folks?
Oh, yeah, it's residential. There's people living in each unit.
Okay, perfect. So then the residential folks are charged higher than commercial through Excel. You got Excel out there, right?
Yes.
Yep. So essentially, you'll be able to cut your tenant's bill down and make the income that Excel would have made off of them, and the system would be 64% covered with tax benefits.
64%.
Yep, out in Golden. Every commercial project, no matter where it's at in the United States, starts off at 64, and then depending on where you're at, you can have bonus tax credits.
But Golden doesn't qualify for bonus tax. We're actually outside the city limits in unincorporated.
How do you do that? By address? Like literally you go down to the address?
Yeah, yep. So the federal government determines what's considered energy distressed or disadvantaged areas.
Oh. And then that's where the extra on top of the 64 sounds great, but on top of that. So basically he would become his electric company, regardless of how much of it's covered. He would be charging his tenants electricity and be making that money going forward.
Exactly.
Plus the actual benefit of the value of the improvement to the commercial property is crazy.
Yeah, and when you do commercial projects like that, again, Colorado's pushing 100% solar and electric within the time frames. So his building would then be safe from those regulations in the future.
So, hey, Barbecue Bob, give her a call off with the address. Just go to redrocksrs.com and call Brooke up. She'll talk to you about it. And you can actually dial in the numbers for him and anybody else, I assume, if they reach out, Brooke. So it's pretty straightforward. redrocksrs.com. Why Barbecue Bob, real quick?
I'm a certified barbecue judge.
Oh, that's pretty cool, man. I like that.
Yeah.
So maybe next time we do a rib-off in studio on a Car Friday, we have you come in and judge it. You won't know who cooked them, but who smoked them. But I like that. Would you be down for that, Mr. Certified Barbecue Judge?
That sounds like fun. If you can tip me off which ones are Martino's, I'll score his really low.
Well, he won't smoke ribs. Now, if we did a meatball competition, my boy would be involved big time. Hey, thanks you, Barbecue Bob. And let's do this real quick. We got a couple minutes left. So, Steve Moss, we talk second hour. Here's the deal. Rock and Roll Brewery this weekend, cornhole tournament. This is the guy that actually does our intro song. In fact, if you need an intro song or a jingle for your company, he did the Tree Farm, which is absolutely incredible. That's probably your most well-known jingle, isn't it, Steve?
It is now. I did another version, a couple other versions for them. I've been doing their advertising for over 30 years. One of them was the bluegrass one. It was really good.
Oh, very cool.
You guys might be able to remember. It was, they have thousands of things that you can grow. The Tree Farm is the place you want to go.
Oh, yeah,
remember
yeah.
that?
It's not as, I do remember that. It's not as popular as the one that's been out for the last few years that I hear right here on this station all the time. But really cool. So he does stuff like that. So if you're interested in getting a jingle for an advertisement, or if you have a talk show like we do and you want to get an intro song, he does that. But Rock and Roll Brewery is his passion. 16, 17 different kinds of beer this weekend. $75 gets you in the cornhole tournament. There's going to be less than 20 people or less than 25 people. So if you're good at cornhole, you might have a shot at winning $500 or whatever the pool ends up being. You also get a VIP ticket to the Speedway, an embroidered Rock and Roll Brewery hat. You get to check out one of the coolest breweries. Suzanne and I were out there a couple of weeks ago. You're going to love it. You get a free beer with that. And then for that day, they're going to do buy one, get one free on T-shirts. But if you go to Rock and Roll Brewery, rockandroll.beer, rockandroll.beer, you'll see the T-shirts and the hats. But you go for the beer, you go for the cornhole. And I forgot, you're catering it with Famous Dave's Barbecue, right?
Yes, sir.
I absolutely love it. Did I forget anything in there, Steve?
Well, I'm adding one more thing.
What do you got?
Your listeners. Tom, I've been listening to this, Tom's show. I've been listening to Tom's show for 31 years. That's when I moved here. And, Frank Duran's helped me out. He's an amazing person. Brad O'Brien, he got things done when other people couldn't get it done. John Fuller really helped me out on a race car motor that blew up at one of the car dealerships. Yeah, he helped me get money back, most of the money back on it. I mean, he's all these guys. I owe Tom a lot. And I want to give, in addition to the free beer, the Famous Dave's, the entering the tournament, and the 2-for-1 mango shirt, I want to give your guys, whoever comes up here, guys or girls, 2 VIP tickets. So for each one, you're going to get a pair of VIP tickets. All these things, that's like a $50 value.
A lot of people don't even know we have, a lot of people don't even know we have NASCAR up here, Steve.
I like, you know what I like to do? I like to take people and give tickets away to ones that have never been to a NASCAR race, because they won't keep going back.
That's the music, man. I appreciate it. Rockandroll.beer, not .com. Rockandroll.beer. Get signed up. You're going to love it. If you're a brewery person like Susan and I are, you're going to love this place. I promise you're going to love the beer. They got something for everybody there. Win that tournament. And Steve, I appreciate it. Everybody have a good day. We'll be back here solving problems tomorrow.
Follow Tom Martino at Real Tom Martino and stay connected with all of us at 630 KHOW, KHOW.com, and on the iHeartRadio app. This is Denver's talk station, 630 KHOW.
When it comes to spring cleaning, don't miss your AC Extreme Clean and Tune-Up. I'm consumer advocate Tom Martino. Did you know dust, dirt, and debris are the #1 killers of air conditioning? So extend the life of your AC, increase efficiency, get the fix-it 24/7 Extreme Clean and Tune-Up. Nobody does it like this. Basically refurbishing your system, lower energy bills, a longer AC life, and the famous no breakdown guarantee. New customers get this 2-hour service $39.
I can't go number 2 anymore.
considering a pension buyout, a severance package, or what to do with your 401k. Hi, I'm Linda Gardner, host of Your Money, Your Retirement, and I can help. 720-488-8604. That's 720-488-8604.
Hi, Dan Cicchini. For your kitchen update done right, go to drhi.com. Great cash incentives or a special financing rate of 0% APR with 48 equal monthly payments with approved credit. For details, 800-362-8370.
Since we all have more in common than not.
Absolutely. There is one common denominator.
It's the common sense way to go.
There's still a place that brings us together.
I agree with everything you're saying. I often disagree. So you need to look at both sides of the spectrum. I completely agree. We're not talking about compromise. We're talking about common ground here.
To talk about everything that's going on.
The few people that have some common sense.
Exactly. That's how I like them.
Denver's talk station, 630 KHOW.
KRFX HD2 Denver.
KHOW Denver, an iHeart radio station. Make us the #1 preset on the free iHeart radio app. Listen for all your music, radio, and podcasts. Free never sounded so good.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. For the second time this week, President Trump is meeting with Republicans trying to shore up support for the GOP budget reconciliation bill. He's meeting this afternoon with holdouts of the Freedom Caucus at the White House. House Speaker Mike Johnson, meantime, downplaying the troubles over the spending cuts and tax breaks.
There's a lot of listening and a lot of discussion. It's been very productive. The guys that still have concerns we're working through. Everybody around here knows this is the process. This is what we do. It's a very deliberative, slow process. Sometimes we go slower than most of us want, but that's how the founders designed this.
The Pentagon confirming it has accepted the Qatari plane offered as a gift to the U.S. to use temporarily as Air Force One. That plane still needs to be retrofitted. Louisiana authorities say they've arrested 2 people for assisting several of the inmates who escaped the Orleans jail Friday. 5 inmates have been captured. 5 others remain on the loose. This is ABC News. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, in an address to Israel tonight, says Israel will control all of Gaza by the end of the war. Netanyahu defying international pressure to stop its military push into the war-torn Gaza Strip. ABC's Patrick Reevell has details.
Nearly 500 Palestinians have already been killed in the new offensive, according to the Gaza Health Ministry. The UK, France and Canada have already demanded that Israel halt its offensive in the strongest terms yet. Now, Israel 2 days ago said it will allow a basic amount of food into Gaza. And yesterday said 93 trucks were let in, but it's not clear if they have reached people. And aid agencies have previously said it's nowhere near enough, amid warnings that hundreds of thousands are facing starvation.
In New York City, the sex trafficking and racketeering trial of Sean Diddy Combs now in its 12th day. The music mogul has pled not guilty to charges. I'm Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
Both the governor's office and the local mayor are talking about the lawsuit filed this week challenging 2 land use laws. The cities of Aurora, Arvada, Glendale, Greenwood Village, Lafayette, and Westminster argue that those land use laws violate the constitutional provision of home rule. Aurora Mayor Mike Kaufman.
This is really a violation of local control, and if we don't stand up for it now, I think we'll allow a precedent to be set that will allow the legislature and the governor to trample on these issues going forward.
A statement from the governor's office says this lawsuit is about preventing more affordable housing from being